Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Myth: My Dragons Can Evolve Infinitely. Chapter 21. Wrapped in this super Hunyuan seawater, now Qing could clearly feel that a lot of spiritual energy was pouring into the seawater on the coast of the East China Sea. This spiritual energy was much stronger than before. Under the wrap of these spiritual energy, Bao Qing felt that his cultivation speed was also much faster. As expected of the Cave Heaven Paradise. Is this the effect of the Cave Heaven Paradise? Bao Qing sighed slightly, his eyes flashing with deep satisfaction. With this super Hunyuan seawater, the Dragon Clan has taken another step forward in dominating the three realms. And at the moment when the Hunyuan seawater evolved into the super Hunyuan seawater, the Dragon Elders, Shrimp Soldiers and Crab Generals on the coast of the East China Sea clearly felt something. Have you ever felt that the spiritual energy around you is very abundant? But you haven't felt like this before. At a corner of the East China Sea, a shrimp soldier who was patrolling suddenly felt something and quickly asked his companions. Is there enough spiritual energy? Hey, it's true, the spiritual energy is really abundant. The spiritual energy suddenly became abundant, like a paradise in the cave. What happened? That's right, the shrimp soldiers and crab generals were talking a lot. And the same thing happened in the entire East China Sea in an instant. All the shrimp soldiers, crab generals, and dragon clan elders didn't know what happened. The East China Sea actually had more aura than before. But soon, someone reacted. The reason why the aura on the coast of the East China Sea is so rich is very simple, that is, after becoming the Dragon King, the entire sea area was also affected and turned into a paradise. Thinking of the previous incident of Prime Minister Turtle evolving into Xuanwu. Suddenly, the mysterious legend about the Dragon King of the East China Sea, King, spread throughout the four seas. The monsters in the other three seas who originally had some doubts about the identity of the Dragon King King were now more determined. Qing is the Dragon King, and Qing will lead the entire Dragon Clan to the future. The Dragon King is so powerful that he will surely unify the three realms and restore the glory of the Dragon Clan in the past. The Dragon King is so powerful that he will surely unify the three realms and restore the glory of the Dragon Clan in the past. The Dragon King is so powerful that he will surely unify the three realms and restore the glory of the Dragon Clan in the past. The Dragon King is so powerful that he will surely unify the three realms and restore the glory of the Dragon Clan in the past. Suddenly, one of the shrimp soldiers suddenly knelt down on the ground with a plop and started to worship towards the East China Sea Dragon Palace where Dao Qing was. Immediately afterwards, countless shrimp soldiers and crab generals all worshipped in the direction of the East China Sea Dragon Palace, their eyes flashing with excitement. These shrimp soldiers and crab generals have been following the Dragon Clan to conquer the world since their ancestors. At that time, when the ancestral dragon was dominating the world, they were also galloping through the wilderness in various ways. However, as time went by, the Dragon Clan gradually declined, and they were bullied by all parties. But even so, they never gave up, because they firmly believed that the Dragon Clan would surely rise. These shrimp soldiers and crab generals have thought more than once that with the rise of the Dragon Clan, they are no longer the lackeys of the heaven, and they are no longer the mounts of the gods. But now, all signs are showing that the useless genius who fell in the mortal world is going to rise up against the will of heaven. You can imagine how they feel in their hearts. When the shrimp soldiers and crab generals were shouting in unison, Prime Minister Turtle was also shouting together, but as he shouted, he started to choke a little, and there were even tears in his eyes. And when the shrimp soldiers, crab generals, turtles and prime ministers were excited, they did not notice that many of the fish swimming around them actually developed their wisdom on the spot and turned into fish spirits and fish monsters, becoming one of them. Although these newly transformed fish spirits and fish monsters have low intelligence, they all imitate the behavior of shrimp soldiers and crab generals, and bow in unison to thank the Dragon King for his kindness. In the following time, Bao Qing was immersed in the practice of dragon god art, and the consolidation of the seven-clawed golden dragon realm. But even though Bao Qing himself didn't make any moves, under his few decrees and the super Hunyuan seawater, the entire coast of the East China Sea, no, to be precise, the entire four seas, has undergone earth-shaking changes. First of all, the biggest change is that there are almost no demons and gods around who dare to make plans for the world. It is no longer like before, when any demon dares to come to the world to ask for equipment, magic weapons and the like. The next biggest change is that many schools have been established in the four seas to teach fish spirits and fish monsters how to practice, and to help fish spirits and fish monsters open up wisdom training academies and martial arts performance fields. These training academies and martial arts performance fields are one every 5 sea miles. They are densely arranged throughout the four seas, which is very spectacular. That is, after beating those fish animals and turning them into fish spirits and fish monsters, they will be called to specific training academies to carry out basic training and learning. After they reach a certain level, they will be sent to perform martial arts field, learn actual combat, completely strengthen yourself, and increase the strength of the East China Sea Dragon clan. In addition, there was the Sea Taming Team, headed by Prime Minister Turtle, which wiped out the demons around the world. They not only brought a large number of magic weapons and equipment to the world, but also brought a large number of servants and slaves. These magic weapons and equipment, as soon as Prime Minister Turtle brought them back, were directly locked into the arsenal, and the slaves were sent to various systems in the four seas to help those in charge, so as to make the operation of the entire four seas smoother. For fast Sea, which was originally a little weak, has directly returned to its peak state economically. It can be said that money is enough and food is enough. The military changes were also earth-shaking. In just these 2 weeks, the number of fish spirits and fish monsters that can be cultivated to guard the sea has increased from 3 to 400,000 to 6 to 700,000, and their combat effectiveness has more than doubled. As for the more elite shrimp troops, they increased directly from 100,000 to 130,000. Although the combat effectiveness did not double like those of the lower-level troops, the improvement was very terrifying. Among them, there are 2 fish monsters with extraordinary talents. In 2 weeks, they directly broke through the 3 realms and became fish kings. Their strength is no less than that of the crab generals in charge of the aquatic army. In addition to the tremendous changes that have taken place in the economy and military, in terms of politics, as the Dragon Emperor, Bao Qing has also established his own set of political systems based on their performance in all aspects, which can operate effectively and quickly. Stand up. As long as Bao Qing issues a decree, various departments in Donghai will soon gather to respond and solve it quickly. As a man in his previous life, Bao Qing knew how important a political system was. In the past, the management of the Dragon King of the East China Sea was very chaotic. The functions of many departments were not clear, and mutual blame often occurred. This is not true. It will help him establish a prosperous dragon kingdom. 2 weeks later, Nao Qing slowly opened his eyes and completely consolidated the strength of the 7-clawed golden dragon. At the same time, he also successfully cultivated his dragon god art to the 7th level. Compared with during this period, his combat power doubled countless times. It's another new day, and the East China Sea Dragon Palace is holding a court meeting as usual. So, in just 2 weeks, Seihaiban's military and economic strength have doubled again. Yao Qing asked with satisfaction, showing a faint smile. In his hands, there were various data reports that Prime Minister Ji Yu had already compiled. Yes, Lord Dragon Emperor, under your wise guidance, all strength indicators on the coast of the East China Sea have been doubled, and the combat effectiveness has soared. Even we did not expect it. Prime Minister Turtle said honestly that when he heard the Dragon King's decree, he still had some doubts in his heart. But the real data told him that the Dragon Emperor was foresighted in this regard, which made him even more impressed by the Dragon Emperor's persistence. Several other Dragon Clan elders also nodded. They had also witnessed the Dragon Clan's rise step by step. I, Ao Guang, feel a little regretful now. I regret not letting you take over the position of Dragon King of the East China Sea earlier. Otherwise, our Dragon Clan of the East China Sea would not be bullied so much. Ao Guang, the former Dragon King of the East China Sea, said somewhat jokingly. Ha 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 ha, all the Dragon Clan elders laughed in unison, very happy. And just when Ao Guang wanted to continue to say something, a shrimp soldier suddenly rushed in a panic. Lord Dragon King, it's not good. The Wansheng Dragon King, the Jing Dragon King, and the Yellow River Dragon King also invited demons from nowhere. The demon kings are running towards us with murderous intent. A rough estimate is that there are at least 200,000 demon soldiers. They seem to be avenging the other dragon kings. As soon as he finished speaking, the originally relaxing atmosphere was immediately destroyed. All Saints Dragon King, Jing Dragon King, Yellow River Dragon King. Bao Qing was stunned for a moment, and then he remembered. It's not just the Dragon Kings who are in charge of the sea. There are still some Dragon Kings who are sent to control the rivers and wells in their Dragon clan, and these people are basically related to the Dragon Kings of the Four Seas by blood. Of course, these Dragon Kings are basically not pure dragons. For example, the All-Saint Dragon King is a dragon. Now they are coming with murderous intent, obviously they want to cause trouble for him. And it seems that he also brings many Demon Kings with him. He wants to take over the position of the world for him. By chance, he evolved into a 7-clawed golden dragon, and he was worried that he had nowhere to test his power. Interesting, everyone will set off with me. I want to see what these Demon Kings are capable of, how dare they cause trouble for me. Bao Qing waved his big hand, and the strong dragon power suddenly radiated from his whole body, faintly shaking the surroundings with excitement. And just when the entire Four Seas Dragon clan was shaking, preparing to face the 100,000 demons led by the Wansheng Dragon King, Jing Dragon King and other Dragon Kings, at this moment, they were not far from the coast of the East China Sea. Chintang. As the vanguard position of the Yin and Shang dynasties, this place has always been in charge of the Shang dynasty's general Li Jing, and his wife Yin Xiniang often went to the battle to help. I don't know how many monster masters she helped her husband repel, and brought peace to Chintang. And precisely because of this, Li Jing and his wife have always had a good reputation in Chintang. However, this situation changed dramatically when Mrs. Yin gave birth 3 years ago. Many people in Chintang loved and hated, respected and feared Li Jing and his wife. This is not because Li Jing did something outrageous, but because his wife Yin Xiniang gave birth to a monster named Neja after 3 years and 6 months of pregnancy. She was the reincarnation of the magic pill and was destined to destroy the world. Although Li Jing tried his best to assure the people of Chintang that they would take good care of Neja and prevent him from causing trouble, the people of Chintang still regarded Neja as a monster and refused to accept him. On this day, Neja, the reincarnation of Moan, took advantage of the loosening of the seal of Li's mansion and quietly walked out of Li's mansion. Just when he was about to go out and have fun, suddenly, dark clouds filled up the sky, and dark demons and ghosts drove him. Under the black clouds, they quickly headed towards the coast of the East China Sea. Even if a demon like Neja is reincarnated, feeling the power of the dark cloud, he feels a little unwilling in his heart. So many demons are heading to the coast of the East China Sea. What on earth is happening? Neja thought uneasily. At the same time, the people and officials of Chintang were silent as they looked at the dark demonic cloud, with fear on their faces. Puff! After killing a monster easily, General Li Jingli of Chintang raised his head uneasily. Yin Xiniang on the side frowned slightly. The direction where so many monsters are heading seems to be the coast of the East China Sea. The coast of the East China Sea. This is the first time I have seen such a fight between the demon clan. But I have to say that it is time to eradicate the dragon clan on the coast of the East China Sea. Li Jing frowned and said, he and his wife eliminated the demons by killing them. Demons are their own responsibility, and no demon can escape their methods. I heard that the Dragon King of the East China Sea recently unified the entire East China Sea and became the well-deserved emperor of the Dragon Clan. It should be related to this matter. Yin Xiniang became even more uneasy. Once a battle breaks out on the coast of the East China Sea, it will inevitably affect our Chintang. Quote. Hearing this, Chintang Li Jing frowned even more tightly. I will quickly mobilize troops to guard Chintang so as not to affect the people of Chintang. When the demon leaves, we must go to the Dragon King of the East China Sea seek justice. After saying these words, Li Jing didn't care anymore and left directly on his white horse, hurriedly dispatching his troops. Yin Xiniang looked up at the sky uneasily, and quickly rode her white horse back to Chintang. Since the couple's attention was all on the hundreds of thousands of demons and monsters, they did not notice that Neja, the reincarnation of the magic pill, had long since disappeared. In fact, in their eyes, the dragons on the coast of the East China Sea are just monsters to be killed. At this moment, the sky above Chintang, the dark demonic cloud moved quickly and headed straight for the coast of the East China Sea. Above the leading demonic clouds, Several dragons that have not yet fully transformed into dragons are flying quietly. These dragons have sharp claws, can fly in the clouds and mist, cast spells to rain, and are omnipotent. They are none other than the All-Saint Dragon King and the Jing Dragon King, and the Dragon King of the Yellow River and other Dragon Kings. Behind these Dragon Kings, the darkness was full of demon kings, many demon soldiers armed with sharp weapons and demon faces, each with murderous intent, and their eyes flashing with strong fighting intent. Among the demon kings, many of them are spirits cultivated from withered bones, bullheads, and zombies. Their magic power and Taoism are extremely powerful. Even gods will have to avoid the edge temporarily when they see them. You demon kings and demon kings, the coast of the East China Sea is in front of us. A few of our enemies are in front, especially the Dragon King of the East China Sea Ao Cheng. We all want to tear them into pieces now. Seeing that he was not far from the coast of the East China Sea, the Wansheng Dragon King's dragon eyes were full of fighting spirit. Don't worry, as long as you kill Ao Cheng and suppress the entire East China Sea Dragon clan, the 4 seas will be yours. By then, several of you will the Demon King and the Demon Emperor can just reward you with a few small positions. At the end of the sentence, the All-Saint Dragon King cast a flattering look at one of the Demon Emperors. This Demon Emperor was an eagle, with an eagle face and human body, murderous intent, and filled with demonic aura. He was also the highest status existence among the demon clans. The name of this demon is the Eagle Spirit, which is an eagle created by heaven and earth. It has an extremely profound Taoist practice and has been around for at least 7,000 years. Zhu Feng's second son, Kong Zan Taoist, is the eldest brother of Shang Ying Jing. I think back when the Feng clan and the Dragon clan fought, my eldest brother Kong Zan was injured by Zulong's son Yinglong. The Feng clan and the Dragon clan can be said to be a feud. If my eldest brother Kong Zan knew that I destroyed the Donghai Dragon clan, he would definitely do it. Very happy. No one is going to snatch it for a while. The dragon head of Ao Cheng, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, belongs to me. I want to use it to make wine. Having said this, the Eagle Demon King chuckled, his eyes filled with arrogance. Don't worry, Your Majesty, we will definitely give Ao Cheng's dragon head to you. Yes, please don't worry, Your Majesty. Several little demons quickly patted the horses, their eyes full of flattery, and just when the Eagle Demon King was about to speak and continue to make some arrogant words, a faint voice suddenly sounded. I heard that there is a Demon King who brazenly wants to use my faucet to make wine. This voice was very dull, but the dull sound was like a dull hammer, vibrating violently in the hearts of every Demon King, Demon Emperor, and Demon Soldier, almost causing them to stumble and fall to the ground. Even the most respected Eagle Demon King almost fell down and made a fool of himself in front of all the demons. After a while, the Demon Kings and demons calmed down from the deep shock in their hearts. They looked at each other in surprise, and saw the shock and horror in each other's eyes. Who is the boss? The sound alone was so shocking that they couldn't even say a word. And almost fell. The Eagle Demon King himself had an extremely ugly look on his face, with a pair of eagle eyes flashing with deep suspicion. He was wondering who could be so powerful on the shores of the East China Sea. He could scare them to the point of defeat with just one sentence. It's Prime Minister Turtle who evolved into Xuanwu. No matter how powerful Prime Minister Turtle is, even if he evolves into Black Tortoise, he will never be so powerful to frighten hundreds of thousands of monsters. Could it be that there are masters on the shores of the East China Sea? It's Ao Cheng, the Dragon King of the East China Sea. But the strength of the Dragon King of the East China Sea is very clear in the heart of the Eagle Demon King, and it is impossible to have such power. The Wansheng Dragon King and the Jing Dragon King, who were all flattering just now, were speechless and pale at the moment. As dragons, they are more sensitive to dragon power than the other monsters. They could feel that the strong dragon power was beyond the scope of the 6-clawed golden dragon. Could it be that Ao Cheng's strength has improved again? The Wansheng Dragon King was a little shocked. In the battle between Ao Cheng and the Dragon King of the West Sea, Ao Cheng was only a 6-clawed golden dragon. The power of the 6-clawed golden dragon was far from as powerful as it is now. As soon as he finished speaking, all the demon kings were shocked. The 6-clawed golden dragon has improved its strength again. What the hell does this mean? While they were thinking, a huge wave of more than 1,000 feet suddenly rolled crazily, like a huge palm, slamming down hard, making a rumbling sound, like thunder. And in the midst of the thunder, a huge dragon body with a body of several hundred feet suddenly revealed its body, revealing a pair of extremely shocking dragon eyes. This dragon body is so huge, more than 100 feet long, that it looks like it spans the entire East China Sea coast, spreading all the way from the left to the right side of the East China Sea coast, and in the dragon body, pieces of golden light are shining. Colorful illusion, reflecting the extremely terrifying light, giving people an extremely shocking feeling. But what is more terrifying than this huge body is the elements that circle around the dragon's body. There are water, fire, wind, thunder, earth, and all things. These elements sometimes intersect and sometimes separate. Gives people a special feeling. 1 claw, 2 claws, 3 claws, 5 claws, 6 claws, 7 claws. The moment the giant dragon appeared, the strong power of the dragon was already overwhelming the demon kings. Especially when the eagle demon king started to count the number of dragon claws, every time one more claw came out, the hearts of the 100,000 demon soldiers trembled. Especially when they counted 7 claws, many demon soldiers' hearts almost jumped out of fear. 7-clawed golden dragon, how is this possible? How could Ao Cheng, the dragon king of the East China Sea, evolve into a 7-clawed golden dragon? The 7-clawed golden dragon is a more powerful being than the 6-clawed golden dragon. It is also called the 9 lives true dragon, because the 7-clawed golden dragon has 9 lives. Unless it is killed 9 times, it will not die at all. It is precisely because of this that the ancestor dragon cannot be killed at all and can only be suppressed in the deep sea. The hearts of the dragon kings such as the Halloween dragon king, the Jing dragon king, and the Yellow River dragon king were beating so fast that they were about to jump out of their chests. 7 claws. 7-clawed golden dragon. No one has any idea what this means. At this time, not only the eagle demon king was shocked, but also the dragon clan elders, shrimp soldiers and crab generals who followed Ao Cheng. 7-clawed golden dragon. The 6-clawed golden dragon evolved into a 7-clawed golden dragon not long after. What a fast evolution. Ao Guang and Ao Bing were speechless. If the 6-clawed golden dragon that surpasses the 5-clawed golden dragon of the Dragon King of the East China Sea is the hope of the dragon clan, then the 7-clawed golden dragon is all the dragon clan's reliance and trump card. They could not have imagined that in just a few days, their East China Sea dragon king Ao Cheng would evolve again and become a 7-clawed golden dragon. Prime Minister Turtle, who had been serving Ao Cheng, also showed a look of surprise. Unexpectedly, the dragon king would evolve again. Facing the shock around him, Ao Cheng smiled faintly. In fact, this was also the first time he showed the power of the 7-clawed golden dragon. Unexpectedly, his body swelled so much compared to the 6-clawed golden dragon. The dragon's body is several hundred feet long. You must know that many famous bridges in previous lives were only this long. You can imagine how shocking it is to see how huge his body is. Compared with the 6-clawed golden dragon, the 7-clawed golden dragon was countless times larger, and Ao Cheng could also feel that his combat power had increased. As for the power of the 5 elements swirling around him, it is because he has cultivated the dragon god art to the 7th level. He can now perfectly control the power of the 5 elements. That's right, this is the 7-clawed golden dragon. I don't have much time, so come on together. Ao Cheng shrugged his dragon shoulders, his dragon eyes flashed with provocative light, and at the same time he slowly stretched out his dragon claws and hooked them. As soon as he finished speaking, those demon kings all frowned. As the leader of a demon clan, how have they ever been insulted like this? Which of these commanders is not pampered in normal times? Others don't dare to offend easily. Now the Dragon King of East China Sea is so arrogant and doesn't take them seriously. Although the Dragon King of the East China Sea has evolved into a 7-clawed golden dragon, they don't think Ao Cheng can exert the true power of the 7-clawed golden dragon. At that moment, the Eagle Demon King was the first to charge forward and transformed directly into a huge eagle with a body of dozens of feet. The demonic aura filled the air and soared into the sky. However, no matter how huge the body of this Eagle Demon King is, it is as small as an ant in front of Ao Cheng's body of several hundred feet. The dragon goes out to sea. Ao Cheng's body was so huge that his body of several hundred feet instantly rose into the air. Wherever he passed, there was a rumble of wind, carrying strong dragon power, and suddenly and violently pressed down on the Eagle Demon King. At this moment, the Eagle Demon King only felt a powerful force suppressing him, like Mount Tai pressing down on top. This kind of power was so huge that he had never felt it from other demon kings before. Hearing a click, the Eagle Demon King felt a sharp pain in his body. When he lowered his head, he was shocked to find that his flying ribs had been crushed. How is this possible? The Eagle Demon King frowned. He didn't expect that the might of the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Bo Cheng, was so terrifying. Before he even started fighting, his body could no longer bear the power of the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Bo Cheng. What does that mean? I'm afraid no one knows it better than him, and understands it better. But even so, the Eagle Demon King waved his wings resolutely and rushed towards the East China Sea Dragon King Ao Cheng. At the same time, he used his sharp eagle claws to try to inflict fatal damage to Ao Cheng. His speed is as fast as lightning. In the eyes of many demon kings and demon emperors, it is even too fast to catch. However, such a rapid speed is as slow as a turtle crawling in the eyes of Donghai Dragon King Bao Cheng. You are too slow. Bao Cheng only gently raised his dragon claws, and the Eagle Demon Emperor was forcefully caught in his dragon claws, unable to move anymore. The Eagle Demon King could clearly feel that everything about him was severely suppressed under the dragon's claws, and even his mind could not fly out, let alone use any spells. Your strength is nothing more than this, and you still want to destroy our East China Sea Dragon clan with just this strength. Ao Cheng smiled coldly, and immediately, there was a clear and crisp sound, and the Eagle Demon King, who was like an ant under his dragon claws, was directly caught into a puff of blood mist flying in the sky. The strong smell of blood spread instantly, making the entire coast of the East China Sea filled with a strong smell of blood. Is this the power of the seven-clawed dragon? Looking down at his own dragon claws, Bo Cheng narrowed his eyes slightly, never expecting that the power of this seven-clawed golden dragon was so terrifying. Originally, he thought that a demon king as profound and powerful as the Eagle Demon King would need 3 moves and 2 moves to solve it, but he did not expect that it would be so easy to solve it. No, it can't be. While Yao Cheng was thinking like this, the demon kings, demon emperors, and demons watching the battle were all dumbfounded, with their eyes filled with shock and horror. They are very clear about the Eagle Demon King. Many demon emperors and demon kings ask themselves, if the Eagle Demon King takes action, they are no match at all, not to mention that the Eagle Demon King is Lord Kongzon's younger brother and has learned the phoenix. It can be said that the clan's cultivation method exists sideways in this mythical world. However, such a being could not withstand a single move in front of the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Yao Cheng. He was defeated by the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Yao Cheng, in just one encounter. What does this mean? The All-Saint Dragon King Jing Dragon King and the Yellow River Dragon King were even more stunned at this moment. They had no idea that the East China Sea Dragon clan would give birth to such a powerful 7-clawed golden dragon. Even the Eagle Demon King they had always relied on was no match. As for the 100,000 demon soldiers, they were all silent at the moment, standing there without daring to move. Not to mention the strong dragon power, they couldn't bear it. For a moment, the entire space became still. Everyone stared blankly at a giant dragon with a body of more than 100 feet, looking at how dazzling the dragon's 7-colored scales were. Don't panic, as long as we Demon King and Demon King come together, a small 7-clawed golden dragon will not be a problem at all. Seeing that the battle was about to end with their 100,000 demon soldiers being crushed by the East China Sea Dragon clan, the somewhat unwilling Wansheng Dragon King suddenly spoke. Hearing the words of the Wansheng Dragon King, the other demon kings also knew deeply that this time they led so many demons to come to the East China Sea Dragon clan to cause trouble. The East China Sea Dragon clan would definitely not let them go. Rather than sit back and wait, being destroyed by the 7-clawed golden dragon would be better than fighting a bloody path. After thinking about this, many demon kings thought that they were about to cast spells and transform. For the masters of the demon race, they are often the most powerful beings after their transformation. Ao Cheng smiled faintly, and when these demon kings transformed, they moved instantly. He had just killed the Eagle Demon King, but he had not killed enough, nor had he realized the true power of the 7-clawed golden dragon. These people could just be his experimental subjects. In the flickering purple-gold demonic energy, countless demon kings with profound knowledge revealed their true bodies one after another. Some were a huge green bull, some were a huge lizard, and some were even white bones. The demonic aura that was already permeating the sky was even more intense at this moment. The demonic clouds were flying in the sky, like dark clouds, actually covering the sky and the earth. The East China Sea Dragon clan below was slightly shaken, and their concerned eyes fell on Ao Qing. Even some of the Dragon clan elders were ready to transform, ready to take action at any time to kill these monsters. The Dragon King of the East China Sea, Ao Qing, is the hope for their Dragon clan's future, and they don't want him to lose his life here. And when they were thinking like this, Ao Qing said lightly, "You are too slow." As soon as the words fell, the entire huge dragon body of more than 100 feet moved instantly and pounced on the Demon King and the Demon Kings in a strange posture. The speed was extremely fast, like lightning. Many Demon Kings did not have time to react, and were directly cut into pieces of blood mist flying in the sky by the sharp dragon claws. They could not die anymore, and they coldly walked into the footsteps of the Eagle Demon King. And those 100,000 demon soldiers were blown into bloody fragments by the aftermath of Long Wei. Ao Qing kills people without mercy, leaving no opportunity for any monster. In this mythical world, Ao Qing is deeply aware of the laws of the jungle. Those who are weak can only be bullied and become other people's food. This time, the Eagle Demon King led 100,000 demons to the coast of the East China Sea first. Wasn't it because the East China Sea Dragon clan on their east coast was easy to bully? So today, Ao Qing will let these people know how powerful their East China Sea Dragon clan is. Zhou Qing was very quick with his actions. In just a few rounds, he turned all the demons and monsters with profound knowledge into a puff of blood mist. Thick blood slowly flowed out from the huge bodies of these demons, and soon gathered on the shore of the East China Sea, making the entire East China Sea covered with a faint layer of blood, giving people a strange look from a distance. A sense of visual impact. The East China Sea Dragon clan, which had been waiting below for a long time, saw Ao Qing entering the battlefield and the Demon Kings were fighting at close quarters. They couldn't hold back and flew up one after another to join the battle group. But it is a pity that the protagonist of this battle is destined to belong to the Dragon King of the East China Sea. When the Dragon clan of the East China Sea rushed up, the 100,000 demon soldiers of the Demon King and demons were already less than 10,000. The remaining monsters, they are basically old, weak, sick and disabled, and no longer have any fighting ability. The former Dragon King of the East China Sea, Ao Guang, was shocked while fighting. The power of the seven-clawed golden dragon was indeed so powerful. In just a few breaths, tens of thousands of demons had disappeared. Even with the power of his five-clawed golden dragon, facing 100,000 demon soldiers, he would probably be able to parry and have no chance to fight back. As for the shrimp soldiers and crab generals, they were all very excited because they were surprised to find that their strength had increased several times during the battle. They would never be able to realize this strength unless they were in actual combat. And they also realized that this was the result of the three magic powers released by Bo Qing. It can be said that the entire East China Sea Dragon clan has improved to varying degrees under the leadership of Ao Qing. I didn't expect that the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Ao Qing, would become so strong. I'll let you go this time, but I will never leave you any chance next time. In the blood mist, the Wansheng Dragon King looked at the dead demon kings around him, frowned tightly, glanced coldly at Ao Qing, who was about to pounce, and after leaving these words fiercely, turned around to leave. Unfortunately, as soon as he finished speaking, a faint voice suddenly sounded from behind. Hall Saint Dragon King, you have no next chance. Ao Qing dropped these words, and the huge dragon body of more than 100 feet suddenly spun around, like a broom, and swept towards the All Saint Dragon King. Wherever the dragon passed, there was a faint shadow of the giant dragon. It carries a strong overwhelming power of Mount Tai. Although this 10,000 Saint Dragon King is a dragon, he is also profound in his teachings. Faced with Ao Qing's dragon power, he can't even make the slightest movement, and even breathing is extremely difficult. There was a crisp sound, and the All Saint Dragon King was swept away by Ao Qing's dragon tail into a fluffy blood mist flying all over the sky. The strong smell of blood spread even faster, coldly announcing the end of the battle. Finish. Congratulations, your dragon luck has improved. Your dragon luck has improved by 1 point. Congratulations, your dragon luck has improved. Your dragon luck has improved by 1 point. Congratulations, your dragon luck has improved. Your dragon luck has improved by 1 point. Comma. Congratulations, your dragon luck has improved. Your dragon luck has improved by 1 point. Before Yao Qing could fully experience the exhilarating feeling of the entire battle, a series of pleasant sounds came to his ears. Listening to the sound of luck reminder coming from my ears, I couldn't help but feel so excited. Because in this battle alone, his dragon luck has improved enough. A little dragon luck can be exchanged for 1 evolution point, but 10 points of dragon luck are not so easy to improve. This battle is enough. Increased excitement. Sure enough, the fight was not in vain. Ao Qing sighed, now he only needs 3 luck points to exchange for 1 more evolution point. I have to say that this wave of luck was sent by the Halloween Dragon King very timely. And while Ao Qing was thinking like this, he suddenly felt a powerful aura keenly, and he was cautiously dormant not far away. Relying on the power of the dragon, now Qing noticed at a glance that behind a huge stone not far away, there was a naughty child wearing a lotus costume quietly hiding. The naughty child was none other than Yin Xiniang, who was 3 months pregnant. The newly born Neja is the reincarnation of Magic Pill in the Demon Boy's coming to the world. Ao Qing still remembers the plot of the Devil Boy's birth in the world. He deeply knows that these spiritual beads and magic pills are very powerful magic weapons, and they can be combined into an innate spiritual treasure, the Hunyuan Pearl. Don't underestimate this Hunyuan Pearl. When this Hunyuan Pearl was first born, I don't know how much terrible suffering it brought to the world. Even Tai Zhenren, one of the 12 golden immortals, was no match for it. In the end, it was Sanqing, one of the saints, Yuanshi Tianzun, took action personally and captured him. Now that Ao Bing has the spirit bead in his hand, and the magic pill is not far away, how can Yao Qing miss this opportunity? Ao Qing is neither a holy mother nor a great saint. As long as there is an opportunity to improve her strength, she will never miss it, even if the other person is just a child. And just when Ao Qing was thinking like this, the naughty boy Neja seemed to sense some danger and quickly turned around and started running at a very fast speed. It's interesting. Ao Qing grinned slightly and stretched out the dragon's claw. Neja, the naughty boy, felt a violent suction force, which pulled him directly and flew into Ao Qing's dragon claw. Who are you? Let me go quickly. Let me tell you, my father is Li Jing from Chintang, and my mother is Mrs. Yin, who slays demons and demons. She is extremely powerful. If you dare to arrest me, you are tantamount to offending the entire Chintang. In the dragon's claws, Neja kept struggling and threatened at the same time. Then when these words reached the ears of the dragons, they caused bursts of laughter. Can everyone in the dragon clan stop laughing? You know, Neja's face looked flushed at this time, and these threatening words, instead of giving people a threatening feeling, had a cute meaning. Chintang Li Jing. Little Chintang Li Jing, do you think he will be my opponent? Ao Qing smiled lightly. Regarding the human race, he was really not afraid of offending anyone. Although he was a human in his previous life, his identity in this life is that of a dragon. Naturally, he has to consider the interests of the dragon. What's more, in this mythical world, the human race does a lot of things to slay demons, and many monsters don't exist at all. He had never harmed anyone, so he was killed by so-called humans. Ao Qing is not some idiot. He only serves himself. If others are displeased, he will take action to seek enlightenment. Once the human race threatens his status, he will destroy it without hesitation. You. Neja, who was in the dragon's claws, saw that he could not struggle out. He frowned and glared at Ao Qing coldly. However, before he could finish his last sentence, Ao Qing used force and grabbed Neja into a piece of meat flying in the sky. After a moment, a bright light flashed and floated gently on Ao Qing's dragon claw. The light was extremely bright, with faint black and gold flashes, and it looked exactly like the magic pill in The Devil Boy Comes to the World. As this half of the Hunyuan Pearl, the magic pill. Ao Qing crushed a little Neja to death, just like crushing an ant to death, and didn't care. In fact, he also knew that Neja could not be killed easily. After all, Neja was a famous person on the list of gods. He was destined to help King Wu defeat Zhou. He squeezed Neja to death just to use it to anger him. Just brush up the reputation points. What's more, keeping Neja here will only cause trouble for the Dragon Clan. If nothing else, Neja and Ao Bing were destined to have a fight. Neja was still rescued by Tai Zhenren, who reshaped the Lotus Incarnation and was resurrected, but what about Ao Bing? Nothing, and ultimately his life was in vain. It can even be said that the Dragon Clan is a stepping stone for Neja to improve his strength. Now that I have seen Neja, how can I not solve this problem in advance? So Ao Qing killed Neja without hesitation. And while Ao Qing was thinking, the magic pill flickered with bright light. Even though he was still far away, Ao Qing could clearly feel the faint mysterious aura coming from the magic pill, which was either a strong fairy aura or a strong demonic aura. Ao Qing clearly remembered that the Hunyuan Pearl was born from the entanglement of good and evil spirits, the two chi of immortals and demons, and the Hunyuan spirits and monsters it transformed into were unparalleled in power. Even Tai Zhenren, one of the 12 golden immortals, was no match. Now he can feel the horror of the Hunyuan Pearl just from such a distance. It is no wonder that Yuan Shi Tianzun let 2 beads descend and reincarnate. But having said that, if Neja didn't have the help of the Hunyuan Pearl, I'm afraid he wouldn't have such terrifying fighting ability. While he was thinking, the magic pill in Ao Qing's hand had turned into a black ball that did not emit any light under his strong dragon power. Congratulations, you got the magic pill. You got Neja's luck. Neja's luck has been transferred to you. Congratulations, your luck has increased. Congratulations, your dragon luck has increased by 5 points. A crisp and sweet sound suddenly sounded, and Ao Qing, who was about to absorb the magic pill, was stunned. Neja's luck. But soon, Ao Qing understood. Like Neja, the monks who are on the list of the conferred gods' war are often destined to be protagonists, and such protagonists often have their own destiny. Now that he has captured Neja's magic pill, naturally, Neja's luck has been transferred to him. I just didn't expect that the Dragon Clan's luck would also improve, and it seemed that it had improved a lot. Don't underestimate the role of luck. What is luck? In the final analysis, it is the luck of a person and a race. People with strong luck are often able to turn bad luck into good luck and avoid evil and gain blessings. Countries with strong luck are often prone to giving birth to amazing talents. Like many powerful countries in history, they have been able to last for hundreds of years because of their strong luck and abundant talents. The same is true for people. It is precisely because he is the son of luck that Neja has been able to practice smoothly and get whatever he wants. Now Neja's luck has become his, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Ao Qing. It is conceivable that he, Ao Qing's luck must be improved so much. He got the golden finger and was already one of the sons of luck. Now he got the luck of another son of luck. One can imagine his luck. And more importantly, this Neja's luck has become his, and Neja's source of blessing will also become his in the future. To put it simply, magic weapons such as the fire spear, Hot Wheels, demon-slaying sword, Hun Tian Ling, etc. are all destined to be his from now on. Ao Bing. With a slight grin on his lips, Ao Qing's eyes fell on Ao Bing behind him. At this moment, Ao Bing nodded heavily, his eyes flashing with curiosity. Is this the magic pill? Thinking back to when the Hunyuan Pearl came and split into 2, Shen Gongbao helped the Dragon Clan get that spiritual bead and embedded it into the newly born Ao Bing. He hoped that with the power of the Ling bead, Ao Bing could help the entire Dragon Clan counterattack. God changes destiny. But now it is obvious that without Qing here, the Lingju has no effect. Ao Qing alone is enough to help the Dragon Clan change their destiny against the will of heaven. Ao Bing was not polite, and with a flash of his eyes, the spirit beads in his forehead flew out quickly, landed in Ao Qing's palm, and gathered together with the magic pills. Sure enough, the next moment, another pleasant reminder came. Congratulations, you got the spirit bead. You got Ao Bing's luck. Ao Bing's luck has been transferred to you. Congratulations, your luck has increased. Congratulations, your dragon luck has increased by 5 points. Hearing this pleasant reminder, Ao Qing curled his lips slightly. Sure enough, this Ao Bing was also one of the children of destiny. It's a pity that the entire Dragon Clan can only have one son of destiny, and that is Ao Qing. This is not because Ao Qing is selfish, but because of Ao Bing's nature. It is impossible for him to lead the entire dragon clan to prosperity and change his fate against the will of heaven. Instead of wasting the spirit beads on Ao Bing, it would be better to shine on Ao Qing. At this moment, Ao Bing had no idea that his luck had completely transferred to Ao Qing. He just vaguely felt that he seemed to be missing something. But even so, he was still very excited, because the dragon clan had risen against the sky in Ao Qing's hands. Boom! Just when Ao Qing was thinking, the spirit beads and magic pills collided hard. At first, when the spirit bead and the magic pill collided together, one of the two beads was still blue and the other was black. But as the two beads collided together, the color of the two beads changed instantly and turned into a strange purple. The next moment, the two beads began to merge strangely, and at the same time they also bloomed with strange brilliance, first red, then blue, and then orange. These rays of light are very bright, and at the same time they dazzle the world, illuminating the dim sky like daylight. Is this the power of the Hunyuan Pearl? When the beads were merging, Ao Qing was not idle at all, constantly feeling the various powers coming from the beads. Don't underestimate these powers. For Ao Qing, the brilliance and power bloomed from these beads are also a kind of growth and recognition for Ao Qing. Sure enough, the next moment, waves of pleasant reminders came from Ao Qing's ears. Congratulations, you comprehended the Hunyuan Pearl and obtained 123 heavenly ways. Congratulations, you have comprehended the Hunyuan Pearl and obtained 122 heavenly Daoxing. Congratulations, you comprehended the Hunyuan Pearl and obtained 300 heavenly Daoxing. Congratulations, you comprehended the Hunyuan Pearl and gained 1 year and 23 days of heavenly Dao. The prompt sound was very clear and sweet. In just a few breaths, Ao Qing's growth in Taoism had improved over several years, which was better than many monks' years of practice. I didn't expect that this would also improve my Taoism, enhance my knowledge and insights. Ao Qing nodded slightly, feeling very excited. He originally just wanted to feel the power of the Hunyuan Pearl, but he didn't expect that the magic weapon could have such power to improve his Taoism. But when he thought about it carefully, those Taoists who were addicted to cultivation did not rely on understanding various heavenly secrets to improve their Taoism. This Hunyuan Pearl is a gathering of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It has existed since the birth of the prehistoric era. It is reasonable to understand the Hunyuan Pearl and increase his Taoism. And just when Ao Qing was indulging in the special mysterious state brought about by the growth of Taoism, the other elders, shrimp soldiers and crab generals of the dragon clan who came together also clearly felt an unprecedented improvement from Hunyuan Pearl. In particular, the third prince Ao Bing and the former dragon king of the East China Sea Ao Guang clearly felt that their Taoism was increasing crazily, and their understanding and knowledge of all things in the world were also crazily updated. Congratulations, your dragon's luck has improved. It has increased by 1 point. Congratulations, your dragon's luck has improved. It has increased by 1 point. Congratulations, your dragon's luck has improved. It has increased by 1 point. Congratulations, your dragon's luck has improved. It has increased by 1 point. If Ao Qing was not intoxicated with the rapid improvement of Taoism at this moment, he would definitely be happy now, because the luck of the dragon clan is improving rapidly again under the power of Hunyuan Pearl. I don't know how long this state lasted. When Ao Qing opened his eyes again, a powerful aura suddenly surged out from his body, like a shock wave. This feeling, Ao Qing was surprised to find that just in Taoism, he had improved for more than 100 years, which was better than many monks who had practiced hard for 100 years. However, the next moment, Ao Qing noticed that his dragon luck had increased by 12 points, and he could exchange for 1 evolution point. Ao Qing was very excited. Dragon King, look! While Ao Qing was thinking, the third prince Ao Bing suddenly pointed at the bright bead in front of Ao Qing and said. At this time, the blue spirit bead and the purple-black magic pill have been perfectly fused together, blooming with a magical and sacred light all around. It is the Hunyuan Pearl that is perfectly fused together. Ao Qing smiled slightly, stretched out his dragon claw, and the Hunyuan Pearl was immediately caught in his palm. As soon as the Hunyuan Pearl fell into his hand, Ao Qing felt a coldness coming from his hand. Soon, this strong chill was like a small snake trying to escape into his limbs. However, before Yi Fanyi penetrated, a strong dragon's power centered on Ao Qing's body and spread to the surroundings, directly suppressing the thick chill. The moment the chill disappeared, the black energy and blue energy surrounding the Hunyuan pearl also disappeared without a trace. The next moment, a pleasant voice sounded. Congratulations, you successfully surrendered the Hunyuan pearl. You can use the power of Hunyuan pearl from now on. Hunyuan pearl, an innate spiritual treasure. This bead is transformed from the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It is entangled with demonic energy and spiritual energy. It is extremely powerful and terrifying. It can speed up the user's practice speed, increasing the practice speed by 200%. And at the same time, it has powerful killing power. It can cause huge damage to the enemy. Seeing the sweet prompt, Ao Qing was first stunned and then happy. Unexpectedly, Hunyuanju was surrendered by him like this. And when his eyes fell on the properties of Hunyuan pearl, he was even more excited and speechless. Just the 200% increase in practice speed has proven the horror of the Hunyuan pearl. It is worthy of being an innate spiritual treasure. It is no wonder that the reincarnation of the Lingju and the magic pill after half of it are so powerful. At the moment when the system prompted, Ao Qing clearly felt that the Hunyuan pearl had completely merged with his body. As long as he thought about it, the Hunyuan pearl would become like his own limbs and arms, attack instantly. As expected of the Hunyuan pearl, Ao Qing sighed slightly, lowered his head and glanced at the corpses of monsters lying around, with a slight grin on his lips. It has to be said that suppressing 100,000 demons and demon kings this time has yielded a huge harvest. Not only has it improved so many Dragon Clan luck points, but it has also obtained the Hunyuan pearl, one of the innate magic weapons. You must know that in this mythical world, in the duel between masters and masters, the power of magic weapons is extremely important. With powerful magic weapons, even a low-level monk can directly have the possibility to kill a saint. For example, when he was consecrating the gods, Taoist Kong Zan, one of the quasi-sages, once used his powerful 5-color magic weapon to take away the magic weapons of countless top masters of the Zhou dynasty, and almost killed Bodhi, who had become a saint. Taoist, you can imagine how important it is to have a powerful magic weapon. Congratulations to the Dragon King, for obtaining the treasure. While Ao Qing was thinking, Prime Minister Turtle slowly walked up to the Dragon King with congratulations on his face. The other Dragon Clan elders also knelt on the ground and knelt down, their faces full of excitement and excitement. With the evolution points, these people have already improved in strength, and their perception of the outside world has improved a lot compared to before. They can all clearly feel that the magic weapon obtained by the Dragon King is extremely powerful. Ao Qing smiled faintly and glanced coldly at the dead Neja. Even after Neja died, he still wanted to keep him alive to help him gain reputation. In fact, Ao Qing has no favorable impressions of human beings now. His current position is completely with the Dragon Clan. Not to mention anything else, in the past few years, those human monks have killed so many compatriots of the Dragon Clan with so-called righteous means. And many of the lost dragon compatriots have never harmed humans at all. Just because he is a demon, and born a demon, regardless of whether he has harmed humans or not, he will be killed by humans in the name of slaying demons. We still have to go somewhere. Ao Qing curled his lips slightly. He was far from getting enough of this wave of Dragon Clan's luck. As long as he can improve his strength, he will do whatever it takes. Ao Qing had just left, and the news of Neja's death quickly spread throughout Chintang. For the people of Chintang, when they heard that Neja, the reincarnation of Moan, had died, their first reaction was joy. But then they thought of how heartbroken Li Jing and his wife were in Chintang, and they felt a little bit sad. Worry. At this moment, Chintang, Li Mansion. Li Jing, the commander-in-chief of Chintang, sat quietly on a chair. The atmosphere in the entire mansion was a bit strange. Mrs. Yin, who was standing aside, looked extremely pale. Are you telling the truth? A serious voice came. Li Jing, the commander-in-chief of Chintang, stood up suddenly. In front of him, stood a panting servant, and 2 servants behind him were carrying Neja, which was covered in blood. This morning, when they saw hundreds of thousands of demons heading toward the East China Sea, they were all worried, fearing that those demons would harm the lives of the people in Chintang. To this end, Li Jing even dispatched the 4 generals of the demon family. But what they didn't expect was that these 100,000 demons only passed through Chintang and did not pose any threat to the people of Chintang. Therefore, Li Jing and his wife guarded Chintang for a whole morning and then gave up. But what Li Jing and his wife never expected was that just when they were relaxed, the naughty boy Neja followed and was killed by the Dragon King of the East China Sea. What the hell did this Dragon King of the East China Sea eat to dare to kill me, Neja? Li Jing took a deep breath, feeling very unhappy. Mrs. Yin on the side also had a ferocious gaze, wishing she could kill the Dragon King of the East China Sea with 1,000 knives right now. Neja, it seems that he was attracted by hundreds of thousands of demons, so he chased him. Who knows? At this point, the servant of Li Mansion did not dare to speak. Dragon King of the East China Sea, this beast. Li Jing snorted coldly, picked up his sword and left. In his impression, the Dragon King of East China Sea on the coast of East China Sea is quite easy to talk to, and he is still very respectful to monks like them and does not dare to offend easily. Moreover, he and Mrs. Yin were famous for slaying demons, so they naturally looked down upon the little Dragon King of the East China Sea. Now, a little Dragon King of the East China Sea dares to cause trouble for his son. To put it bluntly, in Li Jing's eyes, the Dragon King of the East China Sea is just a beast. However, before Li Jing and his wife rushed out of the mansion, a golden light slowly came down. It was none other than Master Tai, one of the 12 golden immortals. Seeing Master Tai, Li Jing and his wife calmed down a little after they were originally angry. You are no match for the Dragon King of the East China Sea now. Even if you go, you will only lose 2 lives. Master Tai frowned. Moreover, the current Dragon King of the East China Sea has evolved into a 7-clawed golden dragon. He defeated 100,000 demons this morning with his own strength. What? As soon as they finished speaking, Li Jing and Mrs. Yin's hearts trembled. With his own strength, he defeated 100,000 demons. How powerful is this? They usually kill demons, but they know very well how powerful those demons are. Seeing the expressions of Li Jing and Mrs. Yin, Master Tai also had a complex look on his face. When he heard the news, he was also shocked in his heart. Unexpectedly, the Dragon Clan in the past has been on the rise recently. This is not good news for monks like them. You must know that Yuan Shi Tianzun and others are discussing the list of gods at this moment, and the catastrophe of the gods is coming. If the Dragon Clan takes this opportunity to rise against the sky, it will disrupt everyone's plans. Neja becoming a magic pill is one of the plans. Originally, according to the plan, Neja killed Ao Bing, transformed into a lotus, and later joined the Zhou dynasty to help King Wu of Zhou defeat Zhou, but now, what should we do? Li Jing was a little anxious. Just as Master Tai was about to speak, a servant rushed in front of the Li mansion in a panic. Li, Mr. Li, no, it's not good. A monster who calls himself Ao Qing, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, with a black the shrimp soldiers and crabs will come and say they will flood Chintang. Water flooded Chintang. As soon as he finished speaking, not only Li Jing's face was full of surprise, but even Master Tai's face changed drastically. Unexpectedly, before they could trouble Ao Qing, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, he actually took the initiative to trouble them. While Li Jing was thinking about it, bursts of thunder and rumbling sounds could be heard outside the Li mansion, and dark clouds covered the sky and the earth, even covering the entire Hongtang Pass. Even just in the Li mansion, Li Jing and his wife, and even Tai Zhenren, one of the 12 golden immortals, have already felt the strong force of oppression, as if Mount Tai is pressing down hard. This huge they had never felt pressure before. Could this aura be the might of the dragon? Tai Zhenren, one of the 12 golden immortals, has followed Yuan Shi Tianzun for many years and is naturally well informed. He reacted the first moment he felt this pressure. Dragon power. Such strong dragon power. Li Jing frowned. She has naturally heard of Long Wei. He and his wife are both Taoists. They have practiced hard since childhood and slayed demons. What kind of demon dragon has she not seen? The dragon power of those demonic dragons, let alone suppressing them, may not affect them, but it can affect their dragon power. I'm afraid this master is not simple. While Li Jing was thinking, Master Tai shook his head and seriously corrected. No, it's not just the power of the dragon, but the power of the Dragon Emperor. Speaking of this, even Tai Zhenren himself was shocked. The power of the Dragon King had only been emanated from the ancestor dragon. Since then, no dragon clan has possessed the power of the Dragon King. It was unimaginable to him. How did a small dragon king of the East China Sea possess the power of the Dragon King? Could it be said that Zulong has been reborn? Or is there someone in the ancestral dragon lineage? No matter which point, I am afraid it is not a good thing for this mythical world. Is it this monster with the power of the Dragon King that killed my Jair? Mrs. Yin on the side didn't care about this and asked coldly. And just as a few people were talking, there was suddenly a crackling sound, and a bolt of lightning shot straight down, illuminating the dim weather like daylight, and also illuminated the entire Li mansion in a vast expanse of white. A faint voice slowly sounded. This Dragon King is the Dragon King Ao Qing who guards the guests from all over the world. I came here today to flood Chintang and avenge my third brother Ao Bing. As soon as he finished speaking, the strong dragon power spread to the surroundings along with his words. The whole air was faintly agitated, causing the entire Chintang pass to shake. This dragon's power was so terrifying that except for Mrs. Li Jingyan and Zhenren Tai, who went out to practice Taoism, almost all the people in Chintang felt like a mountain was pressing down hard, and they all collapsed to the ground. Can barely keep breathing. Let alone talking just by looking at him. Who is this person? I'm afraid it's hard to guarantee that he's even threatened with his life. The person who spoke was none other than the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Yao Qing. After killing the naughty boy Neja and 100,000 demons, he immediately brought the entire dragon clan to Chintang. As a time traveler who has seen countless myths, Bao Qing knows very well that Neja is destined to cause trouble in the sea. As a person on the list of gods, Neja cannot die no matter what. However, Ao Bing, his third brother, the Dragon King and the third prince, who was against Neja, was just a stepping stone for Neja. Not only did he sacrifice his own life, but he still earned an eternal infamy. What kind of torture did the Dragon Clan do to end up like this? When Bao Qing was reborn this time and became the leader of the Dragon Clan, he naturally couldn't just watch something like this happen. As soon as Neja dies, Tai Zhenren will definitely come to the rescue, so he can definitely flood Chintang before that, so that everything that should happen should not happen, and take this opportunity to gain a reputation. And this is also the purpose of Ao Qing's visit this time. As soon as Bao Qing's voice fell, he heard a series of swishing sounds. Li Jing and Mrs. Yin, accompanied by Zhenren Tai, slowly walked out of the Li mansion, their eyes twinkling with emotion. He was so angry, and in Mrs. Yin's arms, she was still holding Neja, who was covered in blood. I never expected that you, Dragon King of the East China Sea, would be so unreasonable. Not to mention that my Neja was killed by you, the Dragon King of the East China Sea. You, the Dragon King of the Dragon Sea, were the first to complain. You actually wanted to flood Chintang today. I'm afraid no one else would be able to bear it. Li Jing said coldly, his eyes becoming increasingly angry. He originally thought that the Dragon King of the East China Sea was reasonable and that killing their son Neja was just an accidental injury, but he did not expect to be so unreasonable. Faced with Li Jing's questioning, Ao Qing smiled coldly and didn't say much. He can't say that he is a time traveler, so he knows that Ao Bing is destined to have freedom, and he will die in Neja's hands, right? Prime Minister Turtle, I'll give you a chance to show off this time. Without saying a word, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Bao Qingbian, sat quietly in the clouds, looking like he was watching a good show. Although the elders of the Dragon Clan didn't know what Ao Qing was talking about, they had to say that they, the Dragon Clan, were feeling proud when they came this time. As for Ao Bing, the third prince of the Dragon King, although he didn't know why the Dragon King came here this time, he could clearly feel the Dragon King's care for him. But I have to say that he was very proud in his heart. You must know that even though their Dragon Clan has never harmed the human race in the slightest, they are still treated differently by the human race people when they show their appearance. Even the so-called righteous human race masters who slay demons and demons have challenged their Dragon Clan many times. Take pride in killing them. The Dragon Clan has never harmed the human race at all. Why should they be treated like this by the human race? Is it because they, the Dragon Clan, are also demons? Chapter 31. Dragon King, don't worry. Prime Minister Turtle responded lightly and walked slowly out of the overwhelming dark clouds, his eyes extremely cold. In fact, He had already had enough of the human race. He has no favorable impressions of this big brawl with an ugly face and a self-righteous guy. As soon as the word, Shin, was written, a powerful air flow spread out in all directions with Prime Minister Turtle as the center in an instant. The aura of Xuanwu, one of the 4 divine beasts, enveloped the entire city Tangwan in an instant. Chintang, which was already under great pressure to suppress the sand, was even more stressed at this moment. The people in Chintang could not even speak a word. They only felt that their body and limbs were struggling to support themselves and were about to break. What a powerful aura! Is this the breath of Xuanwu? Master Taiyi's expression changed. He never expected that other than the Dragon King of the East China Sea, there would be such a powerful being on the shore of the East China Sea. He even had the aura of Xuanwu, one of the 4 saints, the sacred beast. Is the Dragon Clan really about to rise? With this thought in mind, Master Taiyi waved the fly whisk in his hand, and a cold breath suddenly spread out around him, centering on him, and violently dispersed the air pressure of the holy beast Xuanwu. Seeing Master Taiyi trying to resolve his own pressure, Prime Minister Gui smiled coldly, and without saying a word, he transformed directly. The moment he transformed, a strong aura of the holy beast suddenly spread around, covering the entire city, and a huge shadow of the holy beast Xuanwu appeared behind Prime Minister Turtle. The figure of the holy beast Xuanwu is extremely huge, more than 100 feet long, and looks like a mountain from a distance. The next moment, Prime Minister Turtle drove such a huge body and flew directly towards Master Taiyi, Li Jing, Mrs. Yin and others. This speed was very fast. It was unimaginable that a person with a body of more than 100 feet could do it. The huge aura of the holy beast swept across like a strong wind. Wherever it passed, all the bricks, tiles and glazed glass in Chintang were swept into the air, and countless houses collapsed at this moment. However, the house collapsed, but not a single person in Chintang suffered as a result. This is not because Prime Minister Gui is holding back, but Ao Xing, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, specifically asked Prime Minister Gui not to hurt the lives of the people in Chintang. This is not because the Holy Mother of Ao King does not want to hurt any common people, but because Ao Qing wants to keep this place. These people in Chintang helped him accumulate prestige and boost the Dragon Clan's luck. You know, there are no Dragon King temples in many places in the human race now, but there are quite a few in Nuwa Palace and Taiyi Palace. If the dragon race wants to increase its reputation, these humans are still useful. After all, Master Taiyi was one of the 12 golden immortals under Yuan Shi Tianzun. Feeling the strong wind blowing, his fat body kept moving left and right, easily dodging the strong winds. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Prime Minister Turtle's huge body holding a fly whisk. However, just when he was about to take action, a giant basalt claw that seemed to descend from the sky suddenly fell down. The black tortoise claw was extremely huge, like the Tathagata's palm, and it was heading straight down to suppress Taiyi Zhenren, carrying unprecedented terrifying suppressive power. This Xuanwu giant claw is a technique learned by Prime Minister Turtle after practicing for thousands of years. It is extremely powerful. This is the first time Prime Minister Turtle has used it. What a powerful aura of a divine beast. The moment the Xuanwu giant claw appeared, Taiyi Zhenren felt the strong suppressive power. It was difficult for him to turn his mind away for a while. Let alone casting spells, even breathing became extremely difficult. In his horrified eyes, he could only watch helplessly as the giant Xuanwu claws suppressed him. After a moment, his whole body was crushed under the giant Xuanwu claws, and he could no longer move. At this moment, Li Jing and Mrs. Yin didn't even leave the house when they saw this shocking scene. Master Taiyi was directly suppressed by Prime Minister Gui with one move. How is this possible? They could not imagine how powerful this Prime Minister was, and he was not even a match for Taiyi Zhenren, one of the 12 golden immortals. But it was Li Jing and Mrs. Yin who, even in the face of such a powerful Prime Minister Turtle, still rushed forward resolutely. Li Jing was seen holding a long sword and appeared in front of Prime Minister Turtle in a few jumps. A powerful sword energy surged out fiercely along with his slashing. This was Li Jing's last resort. I wonder how many powerful monsters he had killed with this sword energy. At the same time, Mrs. Yin also relied on the sword controlling skills of Shushan. In an instant, she controlled more than 100 flying swords and stabbed towards Prime Minister Gui. The sword light reaches the sky, and a strong murderous aura spreads out in an instant, trying to split Prime Minister Turtle in half, or shoot him directly into a sieve. However, facing the cooperation between Li Jing and Mrs. Yin, Prime Minister Turtle was not afraid at all. He didn't even take them seriously. He just closed his eyes gently and chose to ignore them. Faced with such contempt by Prime Minister Gui, Li Jing and Mrs. Yin's lips trembled with anger, and their eyes were burning with anger. A scholar can be killed but not humiliated. At this moment, they would rather be killed directly like Master Tai. Clang, clang, clang. The next moment, there was only a clear and sweet sound of metal collision. The swords of Li Jing and Mrs. Yin were actually on the huge turtle shell of the Turtle Prime Minister, leaving not even a scar, as if they did not exist. Seeing this scene, Li Jing and Mrs. Yin's hearts suddenly trembled, and then they thought that the most powerful thing about the holy beast Xuanwu was his amazing defense. They were going to die like this. And while they were thinking, a huge void claw descended from the sky again. It was the Xuanwu giant claw. Amid the powerful force of suppression, Li Jing and Mrs. Yin had no way to dodge, and could only watch helplessly as they were suppressed by the giant claws. The battle starts quickly and ends even faster. From the moment a few people fought, and within a few breaths, the battle was over. The East China Sea Dragon clan has long been accustomed to Prime Minister Turtle resolving battles with such thunder, so they did not show any shock in their eyes, but nodded with satisfaction. As for Chintang, the people in Chintang all looked at each other with shock and fear, and for a moment they didn't know what to do at all. In normal times, with Li Jing and his 2 men protecting and slaying demons, the people of Chintang gradually forgot about the terror and fear of demons. But now when they really came into contact with the truly powerful demons and ghosts, they found that no one could protect them. In normal times, some people in Chintang would even rely on the reputation of Li Jing and his wife to go to the coast of the East China Sea to kill the Dragon clan. Now these people are not to mention how regretful they are. Clan leader, what should we do? That's right, clan leader, what should we do? The people of Chintang suddenly lost their backbone. Suddenly, one of the people set their sights on the patriarch of Chintang. This was their last hope. How the hell do I know what to do? The Chintang clan leader's legs were trembling and he couldn't help but curse at the villagers. Normally, he would often encourage others to cause trouble for the East China Sea Dragon clan, but now he only felt regretful in his heart. While the people of Chintang were thinking, Prime Minister Turtle smiled coldly, and the huge Xuanwu shadow immediately retracted, and he transformed into a human body with a turtle face, and stood respectfully beside Ao Cheng. At this time, the people of Chintang were shocked to discover that the East China Sea Dragon clan had just played a small role and directly defeated the hero in their hearts. How powerful this was! Amid the shock of the Xuanwu giant claw, Tai Zhenren and Li Jing's couple struggled to breathe. Their eyes were filled with horror, especially Tai Zhenren's. The power of Prime Minister Turtle simply exceeded his expectations, but what shocked him even more was how powerful the Dragon King of the East China Sea, Ao Cheng, must be to make Prime Minister Turtle surrender like this. They still know too little about the East China Sea Dragon clan. However, Master Tai also knows deeply that it is no longer necessary to think so much now. In the eyes of the Dragon King of the East China Sea, he is just an inconspicuous ant, just like fish on the chopping board, ready to be cut by anyone. Although this feeling made him very unhappy, he had to accept the fact. You know, as he followed Yuanshi Tianzun and became one of the 12 golden immortals, no matter where he went, no immortal would see him respectfully and please him, but he never expected to meet such a tough opponent as the Dragon King of the East China Sea. However, Master Tai is also confident that Yuanshi Tianzun will definitely not sit idly by. After all, once the Dragon clan has a big incident, it will affect the entire mythical world. I think that when Zhu Long was alive, the entire prehistoric world was his plaything, and no saint dared to touch its edge easily. Once such a race develops, it will be very terrifying. And when Tai Zhenren was thinking like this, Li Jing and his wife on the side were full of worry and were about to say something. A faint voice suddenly sounded, and Donghai Dragon King Ao Cheng smiled faintly and looked at the suppressed people. The 3 people slowly said, "Just now Li Jing from Chintang asked me why our Dragon clan is causing trouble in Chintang. In fact, what this Dragon King wants to do is very simple, that is, to seek justice. Let's not mention Ao Bing's matter for now. Just talk about how many descendants of our dragon clan were killed by you and your wife when they were here in Chintang. And these descendants of our dragon clan have never thought of harming you, the people of Chintang. Even if there are some powerful demons who enjoy cannibalism, they are just other races. We from the dragon clan have never done anything like cannibalism. Not only that, our East China Sea dragon clan also masters the method of moving clouds and spreading rain. We often cast spells to bring rain to various places on the continent. Instead of being grateful, your human race wants to kill us. I don't know, what is the reason for this? Ao Qing spoke slowly. As a dragon king, he naturally wanted to redress the grievances of his subordinates. Of course, more importantly, he wanted to increase the reputation of the dragon clan. Sure enough, after hearing Ao Qing's words, all the dragon clan elders and the shrimp soldiers and generals present had red eyes, and some even wanted to shed tears. Yes, these so-called demon clans have existed for a long time, and some of them have not even harmed humans in the slightest, but they will be killed by humans. What is the reason? Ao Bing even snorted coldly and said loudly, human beings have always mastered various languages and manipulated various public opinions. They all say that monsters are bad, but who is the bad one? Bao Qing's voice was not loud, but his faint voice spread around Chintang and enveloped the entire Chintang. Many people in Ziguan of Chintang were silent when they heard the words. I couldn't find any reason to refute. Tai Zhenren and others who were suppressed were even more angry and speechless, and Li Jing and his wife turned red in the face after being retorted. Yes, the demon clan has always been regarded by the world as a devil-like existence, but have the demon clan really killed so many humans? On the contrary, humans drove all the monsters to extinction. Which race is really cruel? Well, after opening her mouth for a long time, Li Jing found that she couldn't say a word. The number of monsters that have died in his hands over the years has ranged from hundreds to thousands. Most of these monsters did not have time to kill humans. His so-called justice suddenly became untenable. Then you shouldn't kill our son Neja. Seeing that her husband was speechless, Mrs. Yin on the side spoke coldly. Haha, as for why I wanted to kill your son Neja, I believe Master Tai next to you knows better than me. Ao Qing smiled coldly. In fact, he is very disgusted with the saints in the mythical world, because what these saints do every day is to make calculations and plot against other people's backs, including the 12 golden immortals. As soon as he finished speaking, Master Tai staggered and almost fell to the ground. How could you possibly know about Neja? Yuanshi Tianzun, Taishang Laojun and Tongtian cult master discussed the matter of the list of gods. He knew that Neja was on the list of gods and was also a strong general in the list of gods. His destiny was to kill Ao Bing and get through this Kalpa, which shapes the lotus incarnation. It can be said that Neja came to power by stepping on the dragon clan of the East China Sea, but what Tai Master didn't expect was that the dragon king of the East China Sea, Bao Qing, actually knew about it. Why should we, the dragon clan, become a stepping stone for your saint's schemes? Ao Qing asked loudly. The third prince Ao Bing on the side seemed to suddenly feel the presence of destiny. At that moment, he cast his grateful eyes on Ao Qing. Although he didn't know why, he clearly felt that Ao Qing had saved him. One life. Master Tai stopped talking. Saints like them make calculations, and usually use weak people as stepping stones towards their goals, such as the dragon clan of the East China Sea, such as King Zhou, and then they can achieve a certain goal. Those ants will die and no one will care. The world said that King Zhou was cruel, but in fact King Zhou just accidentally blasphemed Nua, and he was about to lose his entire country and his entire family. You know too much, and that's not good for you. Master Tai took a deep breath, his eyes flashed with a wise and deep light. He was not as honest as he appeared. Anyone who uses our dragon clan as a stepping stone, this dragon king will kill them all sooner or later. Bao Qing dropped these words and looked at Prime Minister Gui. Wait a minute, bring these people back to the East China Sea for me, I will still be of great use. Saying this, Ao Qing's red eyes suddenly flashed, and a golden light shone directly on Master Tai. A moment later, a scroll that looked like a picture scroll fell directly into Ao Qing's hands. It is indeed a map of mountains and rivers and the country. Feeling a faint chill in his palm, Ao Qing grinned slightly and put the scroll in his hand into his bag. Don't underestimate the mountains, rivers and Sheji map. In the movie about the devil boy coming to the world, the mountains and rivers Sheji map did not show its true power. In fact, this mountains and rivers Sheji map is one of the magic weapons of the Saint Nuwa, an innate spiritual treasure, exist. I think back when Erlang Shen faced off against Yuan Hong, the boss of the Meishan 6 monsters, he relied on the mountains and rivers Sheji map to defeat him. You must know that Yuan Hong is a white ape who has become a spirit, absorbs the essence of the sun and the moon, has boundless magic power, and is so powerful that many top masters in the mythical world are no match for him. One can imagine how powerful this map of mountains and rivers is. But it is obvious that such a powerful innate spiritual treasure is now mature. While Nao Qing was thinking, several more golden lights appeared, and magic weapons such as the fire point spear, Hun Tian Ling, Hot Wheels, etc. all flew out and landed in Nao Qing's hands. Sure enough, the pleasant reminder that the next moment was coming sounded loudly. Congratulations, you have obtained the innate Lingbao Mountains and Rivers map. Congratulations, you got the Haodian Lingbao rocket gun. Congratulations, you have obtained the acquired spiritual treasure Hun Tian Ling. Congratulations, you have obtained the acquired demon slaying sword. Congratulations, you got the acquired spiritual treasure Hot Wheels. Congratulations, the luck of the Dragon Clan has improved. The luck of the Dragon Clan has increased by 3 points. You gained 1000 reputation points. You have gained 1 evolution point. Can be assigned to subordinates. You have gained 1 evolution point. Can be assigned to yourself. Hearing the sweet reminder sound coming from his ears, Ao Qing was stunned at first, and then overjoyed. He never expected that he would gain so much from his visit to Chintang this time. Not to mention anything else, just this pile of acquired spiritual treasures, which is enough to make his strength rise again. Not to mention, this mountain and river Sheji map is a very powerful existence, just like the exquisite pagoda of the Pagoda King Li Jing, which can suppress countless monsters and absorb countless monsters. Without any hesitation, Bao Qing put all these acquired spiritual treasures into his spatial luggage, and planned to take these acquired spiritual treasures back to the East China Sea Dragon Palace, and then slowly study them. As for the evolution points, he is not in a hurry to use them now. After all, the evolution points have many functions and he must not waste them. Of course, he can't wait to become the 8-clawed golden dragon. And while Bao Qing was thinking like this, he suddenly noticed several system prompts about evolution points. Your acquired spiritual treasure demon slaying sword can be used to evolve. Does it evolve? After evolution, the acquired Lingbao demon slaying sword will evolve into the innate Lingbao demon suppressing sword, which can suppress all demons and increase the damage to demons by 50%. Do you want to evolve? Your acquired Lingbao Hot Wheels can be used to evolve. Do you want to evolve? After evolution, the acquired Lingbao Hot Wheel will evolve into the innate Lingbao Super Hot Wheel. This Super Hot Wheel can increase the user's speed by 200%, which is no less than Sun Wukong's somersault cloud. Your innate Lingbao Mountains and Rivers map can be used for evolution. Is it evolution? After evolution, the innate Lingbao Mountain and River Sheji map transformed into a quasi-chaos to Baoshan and River Sheji Qiluk map. This map can absorb all demons, gods, and humans within the 2000-year path of the Big Elm Tree, and suck them into the mountain and river Sheji. Take away his luck. Originally, Bao Qing was too lazy to pay attention to these system prompts. After all, after he had evolution points, he could evolve many things, so he ignored the prompts about the evolved attributes. But when his eyes fell on the evolution of the Shantian Lingbao Mountain River Sheji diagram, he was suddenly stunned. This is not because of Shan Shahitu's incredible ability to absorb demons, but because Shan Shahitu has the ability to seize luck after evolving. In other words, as long as there is this map of mountains and rivers, he can suppress others in the map of mountains and rivers by virtue of his Taoism, and he can seize other people's luck. What kind of heaven-defying attribute is this? It just so happened that he kept Tai Master Li Jing and Mrs. Yin and others, originally planning to unleash a wave of Dragon Clan's luck. Now that he has this map of mountains and rivers, he can start with them to steal the luck. Although Tai Zhenren, Mrs. Yin and Li Jing are not the sons of luck like Neja, the luck of the 3 of them is also very strong. Otherwise, Tai Zhenren would not be under the banner of Yuan Shi Tianzun, one of the 2 true immortals. You know, there are very few monks like him in the entire list of gods. Not to mention, Li Jing had a chance encounter with Buddhism after that and received a gift from Buddhism, the Linglong Pagoda. Once luck is seized, these karmic opportunities will become the Dragon King of the East China Sea. In fact, this is the reason why Bao Qing got magic weapons such as rocket gun, demon-slaying sword, and fire wheel. Because he took away Neja's luck, he would encounter a series of blessings in the future. They will all belong to Ao Qing, the Dragon King of the East China Sea. The power of luck grabbing is so terrifying. Thinking of this, Yao Qing did not hesitate to directly assign evolution points to the innate spiritual treasure, mountains and rivers Sheji map, he had just obtained. A pleasant voice came. Your innate Lingbao Mountains and Rivers map has been allocated evolution points. Congratulations, your innate Lingbao Shanhesheji map has evolved into a quasi-chaos to Bao Shanhesheji Chi Luck map. This map can absorb all demons, gods, and humans within the 2,000-year path of the Big Elm Tree, and suck them into the mountains, rivers, and Sheji, and take away his luck. Congratulations, you have obtained the quasi-chaos treasure, mountain, river, Sheji, and luck chart. Hearing the last sentence, Yao Qing nodded slightly, with a satisfied smile on his lips, saying to his heart that this system is really becoming more and more considerate, and no matter what his needs are, the system can always satisfy him. However, it is not appropriate to tell others about the destiny map of Shan Sheji. It is more convenient for Tai Zhenren and others to seize the destiny in the East China Sea Dragon Palace. Thinking of this, Yao Qing glanced at Prime Minister Gui beside him, and then turned into a ray of light and disappeared without a trace. And looking at the departing figure of Nao Qing, all the East China Sea Dragon clan, shrimp soldiers and crab generals also turned into light and shadow one after another, disappeared without a trace, and went straight to the East China Sea Dragon Palace. I have to say that this time they came to Chintang to fight, they were particularly excited and felt very proud. Why, the East China Sea Dragon clan is a stepping stone for others. Why should they be defined as ugly monsters by the human race? Why should they be killed by humans with so-called justice? With the power of the East China Sea Dragon clan, the rolling dark clouds that covered the sky disappeared in an instant, turning into a clear sky, as if there had never been any haze. Looking at the Dragon King of East China Sea and others leaving, the people of Chintang did not stop their fear. They were trembling with fear at the thought of the Dragon King sitting down and the Turtle Prime Minister defeating their human monks with just one person. Master Patriarch, Master Li Jing, Mrs. Yin, and Master Tai were all taken away by the demon, oh no, the Dragon King. What should we do? Several people from Chintang said with fear on their faces. The white-haired old man, who was called the Patriarch, looked at the Dragon King's leaving figure and couldn't help but said, "What should I do?" You ask me what to do. What can I do? Didn't you hear what the Dragon King said? Hurry up. Come on, build the Dragon King temple for me from now on. Build the Dragon King temple. The people of Chintang were stunned. They usually worshipped at the Nuwa temple and the like. If you are asked to build it, you will build it. Chief Chintang couldn't help but curse. At the same time, he began to think about how to please this Lord Dragon King. At this moment, the Dragon King of the East China Sea boiled over, flooded Chintang, and defeated Tai Master Li Jing and his wife, and returned to the Dragon Palace of the East China Sea. Above the 33rd heaven, Kunlun Mountain, Yushu Palace. As one of the 3 holy palaces, a dojo that once trained 12 golden immortals. At this moment, the atmosphere in Yushu Palace is much cooler than the bustling usual. In Yushu Palace, Yuan Shi Tianzun, one of the 3 great saints, sat quietly on a futon. The saint's eyes did not waver at all, making it difficult for people to see clearly what he was thinking. In front of Yuan Shi Tianzun, there are also 2 saints sitting on futons. One is also wearing white clothes, but there is a yin and yang fish pattern painted on the white clothes. The other one is wearing black clothes, giving people a feeling of haze. These 2 people are none other than Taisheng Laojun and Tongtian Cult Master, 2 of the 3 great saints, who are known as Taisheng Taoist ancestors. These 3 saints were formed by the rising Qi from the beginning of the world. They were extremely powerful and even had the ability to create the world again. Generally speaking, the scene of the 3 saints gathering together has never happened even during the Great Tribulation of Dragons and Phoenix and the Great Tribulation of Lich. But at this moment, the three saints are gathered together. They also gathered in the Yushu palace of Yuanshi Tianzun, which was really rare. I'll just say it directly. I called you two here this time because I want to discuss the matter of the list of gods. Yuanshi Tianzun, one of the saints, was the first to speak. Yuanshi Tianzun's words were extremely cold, but the moment he said the words, Feng Shen Bang, he could still catch the fluctuations in his heart. We, the two saints, have already known about the list of gods, but we just don't know what exactly Yuanshi Tianzun will do this time. Taoist Taisheng Laojun slowly spoke. As saints, they still have the ability to predict the future. Yes, that's right. What are the saints planning to do this time on the god list? Leader Tongtian asked quickly. In fact, this is a matter that the three great saints have discussed for countless times in order to become a god. In the past, due to the different interests of the three saints, there was no discussion, but before that, the Lord of Heaven, God Haoshan, fell for some reasons. Now the entire heaven is short of manpower, and there is an extremely urgent need for a large number of elite soldiers and generals. So, under the order of Tiandao Hongjun, the three saints gathered together again to discuss the list of gods. Actually, the list of the conferred gods list has already been decided and assigned by Tiandao Hongjun. The two saints can take a look. Yuanshi Tianzun glanced at Taisheng Laojun and Tongtian cult leader, and while speaking, handed the list of gods in his hands to the two. Taisheng Laojun and Master Tongtian were stunned for a moment, then nodded slowly. This discussion on the list of gods seems to be a discussion, but in fact it is just a formality. Many candidates have already been determined by the law of heaven, so it is inevitable. However, as soon as he received the list of gods, the leader of Tongtian, one of the three great saints, could not help but frown and became very unhappy. Yuanshi Tianzun, the list above. Without waiting for leader Tongtian to ask, Yuanshi Tianzun shook his head. As leader Tongtian has seen, this list of gods is decided by Tiandao Hongjun. The candidates have been determined and cannot be changed at all. Even we can't do anything about it. Hearing this, Master Tongtian frowned, but he endured it forcefully. The reason that made him unhappy was simple, that was, there were actually many disciples of his leader Tongtian on the list of gods. On the surface, this list of conferred gods means that the gods are ranked in the immortal class, become a part of the heaven, and hold real power. But in fact, this list of gods is a list that controls personal freedom and deprives immortals of their freedom. Once you are on this list, you will lose all your freedom in the future and work like a dog for the heaven. Yes, working as a dog. Before they were on the list of gods, his disciples could still rely on their advanced cultivation to escape the three realms. But now that they are on the list of gods, they have to become a member of the heavenly court. Let Dedong never dare to fight. West. You must know that after the list of conferred gods is determined, the conferred gods list will eventually be delivered to the hands of the Lord of Heaven, the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor holds the conferred gods list. Anyone on the list who dares to resist will be easily obliterated by the conferred gods list. So, to put it simply, you are being a dog to heaven. After all, the leader of Tongtian cult also cares about his disciples. How could he tolerate this happening? What's more, most of the people on the list of gods are the disciples of his leader Tongtian. The people who intercepted the religion made it clear that Yuanshi Tianzun and Taisheng Laojun wanted to bully him and weaken his strength in this mythical world. If the two holy lords Tongtian cult master and Taisheng Laojun have no objections, I will prepare to hand over the list of gods to Tiandao Hongjun and hand it over to one of my disciples to carry out the matter. When Yuanshi Tianzun saw that Master Tongtian had not had an attack for a long time, he and Taisheng Laojun beside him suddenly had an imperceptible smile on their lips. If I guess correctly, the person sent by Yuanshi Tianzun this time is Zhang Zia, one of the 12 golden immortals, right? Taisheng Laojun suddenly asked. That's right. Yuanshi Tianzun nodded slightly. When the leader of Tongtian cult on the side heard this, he already frowned, and his mood became even more gloomy. He couldn't help but snorted in his heart. Since everything has been arranged, why bother to come to me? Is this his plan to use Zhang Zia to attack him to weaken his power in the mythical world? The matter of the list of gods has been settled here. Yuanshi Tianzun smiled slightly. The battle between saints will never stop. This time, he and Taishang Laojun wanted to take advantage of the impending catastrophe to discuss the list of gods, thereby weakening the strength of the leader of Tongtian. However, as soon as he finished speaking, just when Yuan Shi Tianzun was holding the list of gods and preparing to leave, appointing candidates, and completing the matter of canonizing gods, suddenly, the list of gods in Yuan Shi Tianzun's hand suddenly bloomed with light. The titles of Lotus Prince Neja and Li Jing's family, who originally existed on the list of gods, disappeared unexpectedly. It was as if their names had never existed. Seeing this scene, Yuan Shi Tianzun could not help but widen his eyes in shock. Who on earth actually took away the luck and blessings of Neja, Li Jing and others? I think back when Yuan Shi Tianzun decided on the list of gods, he wanted to let Neja and Li Jing's family control the heavenly soldiers and generals of the heaven, a vanguard of demons, a marshal of demons. He explains his teachings and can also take this opportunity to add a lot of strength. However, the determined chess piece actually changed. At that moment, Yuan Shi Tianzun began to deduce with his fingers, and found that even Master Taiyi's luck had been taken away. No, this is impossible. 1 day in heaven and 1 year on earth. When Yuan Shi Tianzun was determining the list of gods, he thought of using Li Jing of Chintang as the entry point to arrange for the spiritual beads to be reincarnated into the Li mansion. In the end, King Wu defeated Zhou, ascended physically, escaped into the immortal realm, and became the pillar of heaven. As for the conflict with the Dragon Clan, he also deliberately created it in order to allow Neja to be reborn in Nirvana, possessing the incarnation of a lotus and the power of 3 heads and 6 arms. Therefore, Neja is also a key figure in the entire list of gods. But what he didn't expect was that such a key figure would disappear out of thin air from the list of conferred gods. He really couldn't imagine who could actually change his destiny against the will of heaven. Even the candidates who were determined on the list of conferred gods could directly erase. Taishang Laojun on the side also frowned, never expecting that someone could influence the list of gods. You must know that unless the instigator possesses a magic weapon more powerful than the conferred gods list, it is impossible to wipe out all the blessings of Li Jing's family. Ha ha ha, you 2 holy lords, you are scheming and scheming to weaken the power of the leader of Tongtian cult, but you have not calculated this. This is the first time that Tongtian cult leader has seen Yuan Shi Tianzun and Taishang Laojun so defeated, with faces as white paper. It is really interesting. However, Tongtian cult master was also very shocked in his heart. Who is it that can even erase the people on the list of gods? Influence. Even if he is the leader of Tongtian cult, he may only be able to help his disciples change their lives against the will of heaven only by practicing water, fire, wind, thunder, and earth again and reopening a prehistoric world. Tongtian, don't let me find out, it's you who caused the trouble. Yuan Shi Tianzun glared at the leader of Tongtian coldly, and the eyes of Taishang Laojun on the side were also ice cold. The 3 saints, on the surface, are very friendly, but in fact, they are already on the same level. Either you will die or I will die. Tongtian shrugged his shoulders and said nothing. He just turned into a light and shadow and disappeared without a trace, as if he had never existed. As soon as Tongtian cult master left, Yuan Shi Tianzun slowly put the list of gods into his sleeve, and then started counting with his hands, hoping to deduce who was causing trouble. Taishang Laojun on the side took a deep breath, said nothing, just waited quietly, and then fell into thinking. Since the birth of the prehistoric era, a total of 2 catastrophes have occurred, namely the Dragon and Phoenix catastrophe and the Lich catastrophe. These 2 catastrophes have killed 5 races, namely the Dragon tribe, the Phoenix tribe, the Unicorn tribe, and the Witch tribe, and the Demon race, making it difficult for these races to regain their former glory. After the Lich catastrophe, the human beings who were created by Nuwa fabricated the earth, but after experiencing all kinds of things, they became the well-deserved protagonists of the mainland and established their own country, Yin Shang. And this time, the 3 saints discussed the list of gods, and it was also because the god disaster after the Lich catastrophe was coming. The 3 saints have witnessed countless races, and they all know very well in their hearts that every time a catastrophe arrives, it is actually a reshuffle of forces in the mythical world. After the Lich catastrophe, the Tongtian cult leader gathered countless demons who had become Taoists. Even the Penglai island of the Tongtian cult was called 10,000 demons coming to the DPRK. It is conceivable how powerful his power has grown. Therefore, Taishang Laojun discussed with Yuan Shi Tianzun to take advantage of the great catastrophe of conferring gods to carve up the forces under the leader Tongtian and strengthen themselves. This is how the three saints discussed the list of conferred gods today. But what Taishang Laojun did not expect was that their careful arrangement would be destroyed by a mysterious force. On the list of gods, Neja, Li Jing and others are extremely important, and they are also the ones who won the newly established heaven. The greatest reliance on military power, but now. While Taishang Laojun was thinking, suddenly, Yuan Shi Tianzun who was making calculations on the side almost stumbled and fell to the ground. Fortunately, Taishang Laojun stepped forward to help him in time, so that Yuan Shi Tianzun was not embarrassed. No, it's impossible. I just calculated the matter about Neja, but found that it was impossible to calculate and deduce it. Yuan Shi Tianzun frowned and said a simple word, but it caused an uproar in Taishang Laojun's heart. Unable to deduce. Taishang Laojun still knows very well how powerful Yuan Shi Tianzun is. Who on earth has such power? Even Yuan Shi Tianzun can't deduce it and can't spy on it. What this means, I'm afraid no one knows it better than Taishang Laojun and others. We must find this person as soon as possible, otherwise, all the plans of you and me will be wiped out in the great tribulation of gods. Yuan Shi Tianzun frowned. He didn't want these saints to work hard and end up making wedding clothes for others. Yes, Taishang Laojun nodded heavily, knowing deeply what this meant. And just when Taishang Laojun, Yuan Shi Tianzun and others were shocked, one of the saints, Tongtian cult master, had no time to spare. He quickly returned to his Penglai immortal island and ordered his disciples to inquire quickly, hoping to get accurate news. In fact, even he is still shocked. Who on earth has the ability to obliterate Li Jing and others from the list of gods? Could it be that Tiandao Hongjun is behind this? But it seems impossible. In short, he has made up his mind that no matter who it is, he must take advantage of the great catastrophe of becoming a god to win him over and become his own, even if he is a brother-in-law. He didn't want to watch his years of hard work go down the drain. And just when the saints from all sides are hiding in the mythical world and making various calculations, at this moment on the shore of the East China Sea. East China Sea Dragon Palace. A series of pleasant reminders came. Congratulations, you used the Shan Sheji luck chart to seize the luck of Master Tai. Your luck has improved. Your Taoism has improved. It has improved for 523 years and 23 days. Your Dragon Clan's luck has also improved. Your luck has increased by 3 points. Congratulations, you used the Shan Sheji luck chart to seize Chintang Li Jing's luck. Your luck has improved. Your dragon luck has also improved. Your luck has increased by 3 points. Your Taoism has improved. It has improved for 482 years and 23 days. At this moment, Ao Qing was sitting on the dragon bed in the East China Sea Dragon Palace, listening to the sweet sounds coming from his ears. His eyes were shining with excitement, and the smile on his lips was particularly strong. As soon as he returned to the East China Sea Dragon Palace, he couldn't wait to use the quasi-chaos treasure level, Shan Sheji Chi luck map, he had just obtained, and directly sucked in Tai Zhenren and others. What he didn't expect was that this Shan Sheji luck chart was indeed extraordinary, and it actually snatched away the luck of Master Tai and others. And not only that, the most important thing is that this increase in reputation directly gave him one more evolution point. Counting what he has in his hand, there is still one evolution point that has not been distributed yet. There is even an evolution point. There is an endless supply, and it feels like I can't use it up. However, at this moment, Bao Qing's attention was not on the evolution points. Instead, he slowly opened his system panel. Name: Bao Qing. Identity: Dragon King of the Four Seas. Daoxing: 8,800 years and 232 days. Magic weapon: Mountain and River Sheji luck chart, Fire Spear, Hot Wheel, Hun Tian Ling. Dragon luck: 53 points. Evolution points: 2 points can be assigned to subordinates. Evolution points: 3 points can be assigned to yourself. Fortune: Tai Zhenren, Neja, Li Jing, Mrs. Yin. Military: National rating: D grade. It doesn't matter if you don't look at the system panel. When you look at it, even Dao Qing himself is shocked. Unexpectedly, without knowing it, the entire East China seacoast has been upgraded to D level under his governance. You must know that before this, he is still in the F level. And his Dao Xing has directly climbed to more than 8,000 years, which is only more than 1,000 years away from the Dao Xing of 10,000 years. After seeing this data, it is impossible to say that Ao Qing is not excited. But at the same time, Bao Qing also noticed that there was an option for lucky fate in his system template. Obviously, after his luck was seized, it could be recorded by the system, which can be said to be very considerate. And while he was thinking, a pleasant reminder came to his ears again. Congratulations! The people of Chintang built a Dragon King temple for you. You have gained 10 merit points. Congratulations! The people of Chintang built a Dragon King temple for you. You have gained 10 merit points. Congratulations! The people of Chintang built a Dragon King temple for you. You have gained 10 merit points. Your Taoism has improved. Your Taoism has improved for 102 years and 123 days. Your dragon luck has improved. Your luck has increased by 1 point. Congratulations. What you did shocked the 3 saints. Your dragon luck has improved. Your luck has increased by 5 points. Listening to the sweet reminder sound coming from his ears, Bao Qing was stunned at first, and then overjoyed. He didn't expect that the news that he had captured Tai Master would reach the ears of the 3 great saints so quickly, and actually help him get angry again. Gained 5 points of dragon luck. The reaction of the 3 great saints was something that Dao Qing had expected. Of course, he didn't know about Neja being removed from the list of gods. However, his goal had been achieved. After all, he had gained so much anger. Good luck, you can redeem evolution points again. As for whether the 3 great saints will attack the dragon clan. Of course, Bao Qing is not afraid at all. After all, he is still thinking about relying on these to sway the dragon clan's luck and use countless evolution points to help the dragon clan change their destiny. However, what made Bao Qing a little excited was that the people of Chintang actually took the initiative and actually built the Dragon King temple for him. The rewards from the Dragon King temple were also very good, and they even rewarded him with merit points. You must know that the value of merit is very important. The reason why many saints became saints was because of their merit. For example, Nuwa needed earth to create humans and refined stones to mend the sky. She accumulated a lot of merit and virtue, and eventually became a saint. The same is true for Yuan Shi Tianzun, Taishang Laojun and others. One founded the Chan sect and the other founded the human sect. They are both establishing merit and realizing the Tao through merit. Including Bodhi Taoists and Jia Yin Taoists, they deduced ascetics, established Buddhism, and recruited Buddhist believers. They were all accumulating merit and achieving enlightenment. Merits can also be understood as incense, and the merits of incense lead to enlightenment. Anyone can gather incense and accumulate merit, and the Dragon King Temple is obviously one of the means to accumulate merit and attain enlightenment and become a saint. It's really useful to leave these people in Chintang behind. The corner of Bao Qing's mouth curled up slightly. He didn't kill these humans in the first place because they still had a huge role to play, that is, to help him gain merit and luck as a dragon. I just didn't expect that the people in Chintang would move so quickly. After experiencing the body for a while, Bao Qing clearly felt that with the addition of merit, his strength had slightly increased. Although it was not much, after all, the people of Chintang only built 10 buildings for him. It's just a Dragon King temple. Now he finally understood why the Tathagata Buddha of later generations wanted to go to the west to obtain sutras, and why the Buddha's teachings traveled eastward. Such a huge amount of merit, even he himself is envious of it. When Bao Qing was thinking about it, he noticed again that there was a faint glow of 7 colors all over his body, which was the aura of merit. Although it was very faint, it had a little embryonic shape. The merit aura is already there. Zhou Qing was very excited. Many of the top masters in the mythical world have these merit auras. With this merit aura, it means that he has the basis to compete with those top masters in the mythical world. Ignoring the many changes that happened to him, Ao Qing at this moment focused all his attention on the 3 evolution points that could be allocated to him. You have 3 evolution points. You can spend 3 evolution points to evolve you into an 8-clawed Hunyuan Yuan 5-element calamity subduing dragon. After evolving into an 8-clawed Hunyuan Yuan 5-element calamity-subduing dragon, you will have the ability to bring down thunder tribulations, small thunder tribulations. Any enemies who are unable to withstand your thunder calamity will be wiped out in ashes and will never be reincarnated. Your level of strength will be raised to the Great Luo Jin Fairyland. The loyalty of all creatures and monsters on the entire shore of the four seas will be forced to 100%, and the cultivation speed of all creatures and monsters will be increased by 100%. When he saw the system prompt, Bao Qing was startled for a moment, and then he realized that it turned out that he needed 3 evolution points to evolve into an 8-clawed golden dragon. But think about it, the higher the level, the more experience points are naturally needed. But I have to say that these 3 evolution points are well spent. Not to mention the heaven-defying attributes that have improved the entire world, just the fact that the 8-clawed golden dragon can bring down thunder calamity is enough to make people scared. You know, what many monks fear most is always thunder tribulation. When they advance to a higher realm, they often need to overcome tribulation, and what falls when they overcome tribulation is thunder tribulation. One can imagine how terrifying this thunder tribulation is. Not bad. Without any hesitation, Bao Qing directly chose to allocate all 3 evolution points to himself. 3 evolution points have been allocated to the host. The host will begin to evolve into the 8-clawed Hunyuan Yu 5-element subduing tribulation dragon. And just when Bao Qing allocated evolution points to himself and was preparing to evolve into an 8-clawed golden dragon, at this moment, the shores of the 4 seas. What is practice? Cultivation is very simple. It is to transcend the limits of the body, develop one's own potential, and equip oneself with strong combat power, so as to defend our homeland and conquer the 3 realms. On a martial arts field on the shores of the 4 seas, one of the dragon elders from the shores of the East China Sea, who had transformed into a human form, released a spell while speaking. After a moment, powerful spiritual power quickly poured into his hand. They gathered together and shot a huge water ball into the distance. Did you see it? What I practice is the water element. I use the water element in the sea to gather it and then punch it out. In fact, the practice of us water tribes is just like this, constantly comprehending the water element, and thus constantly break your own limits, develop your own potential, and improve your combat effectiveness. While playing water polo, the Dragon Clan elders glanced coldly at the bottom of the martial arts field. They saw the shrimps, soldiers, crabs, fish and fish monsters below, all listening with serious faces and full concentration, as if they were afraid of missing even one thing. Character. Seeing everyone listening so seriously, the Dragon Clan elder nodded slightly. Very good, today's Water Clan's training course ends here. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Having said this, the Dragon Clan elder sat aside and rested, while the shrimp soldiers, crab generals, fish spirits and fish monsters who were watching did not waste any time. They sat cross-legged on the ground, clasped their hands together, and started practicing. It can be clearly seen that along with their practice, powerful auras suddenly spread to the surroundings with them as the center, surging and full of power. Seeing this scene, the Dragon Clan elder nodded slightly, very satisfied. Ever since the Dragon King Yao Qing took over the entire Four Seas coast, they, the Dragon Clan elders, naturally had no time to spare. They were sent to various martial arts venues across the Four Seas to conduct training and teach courses. Anyone with certain qualifications and potential wood shrimp soldiers, crab generals, fish spirits and fish monsters were all sent over to learn cultivation courses. This practice course was something that was specifically ordered by Dao Qing. At the beginning, the elders of the Dragon Clan were reluctant. After all, although the shrimp soldiers, crab generals, and fish monsters also mastered their own cultivation methods, they were far behind compared with the cultivation methods inherited by the Dragon Clan itself. They had doubts in their minds whether passing on such advanced skills to these shrimp soldiers and crab generals would be effective. But what the Dragon Clan elders did not expect was that these shrimp soldiers, crab generals, and fish spirits and fish monsters would make rapid progress one by one after receiving the skills taught by them. Some shrimp soldiers and crab generals would even advance to several realms in succession, and their strength would be incomparable. Normally, the elder of the Dragon Clan would be very worried about this kind of thing, but now that he sees more and more powerful people in the shores of the Four Seas, his heart is getting more and more surging. The overall combat effectiveness of the Four Seas coast has increased, which means that it is possible to compete with all the races in the 3 realms in the future. When he thought of this, he was so excited that he taught the shrimp soldiers, crab generals, and fish monsters to work harder. Even the elders of the dragon clan had to admire the vision and courage of the dragon emperor Bao Qing. But just when the dragon clan elder was thinking like this, a shrimp soldier suddenly ran over, pointed at one of the carp spirits that glowed with golden light, and said in surprise, "Elder, look. That carp spirit with the most extraordinary talent is here. After getting the method of cultivation, I actually started to transform into a dragon and started to evolve into a dragon." As soon as he finished speaking, Huoda, the elder of the dragon clan, stood up in surprise. His eyes were full of surprise. In his surprised eyes, he saw a carp spirit sitting cross-legged in the midst of a big fight between shrimps, soldiers and crabs. Golden light appeared all over his body, and his face was like a fish. The human body began to undergo drastic changes, and turned into a dragon-faced human body. The carp leaps over the dragon. This is the 3rd one in the 4 Seas coast, right? Quick, report this to Prime Minister Turtle. Dragon clan elder Huoda stood up suddenly, excited, and waved his hands quickly. Among the shores of the 4 Seas, some fish with extraordinary talents also have a chance to transform into dragons during practice. However, it usually only takes tens of thousands of years for such fish spirits and fish monsters to be able to transform into dragons. But what excited the dragon clan elders was that 3 of these fish spirits and fish monsters that transformed into dragons appeared in just 1 week. Don't underestimate these fish monsters that have turned into dragons. Once they turn into dragons, they are often much stronger than the dragons, and they can greatly improve the overall strength of the dragons. Dragon Emperor Zuaoking is really a man of great luck. Even the number of fish spirits and fish monsters that transform into dragons has increased so much. While the elders of the dragon clan were sighing, the shrimp soldiers and crab generals excitedly went to inform the Prime Minister Turtle about the carp turning into a dragon. And those shrimp soldiers and crab generals who were practicing with the fish spirits and fish monsters were all extremely excited and inspired. After transforming into a dragon, the strength is not as simple as a sudden increase. They have all been favored by the Dragon King for being a young man these days, and they are all holding back their energy to repay the Dragon King for being a young man, and the way to repay them is to work hard to improve their own strength. All of a sudden, the shrimp soldiers and crab generals started to practice even harder. They all wanted to be like the carp just now and transform into a dragon directly to repay the Dragon King for being green. It is a pity that these shrimp soldiers and crab generals do not have the talent of the carp, and most of them have only increased their strength. However, even so, there are still some shrimp soldiers who have evolved into lobster soldiers through their own hard work. If you were to visit the shores of the 4 Seas at this moment, you would be surprised to find that after the East China Sea evolved into Super Hunyuan seawater, especially after several of his decrees were issued, the entire shores of the 4 Seas were undergoing earth-shaking changes. More and more shrimp soldiers have evolved into lobster warriors, and their realm has been improved by several levels. More and more turtle spirits have evolved into dragon turtle spirits, and their realm has been improved by several levels. Even, from time to time, a fish spirit and fish monster will turn into a dragon and become Zhou Qing's right-hand man. What's even more frightening is that even many monsters that have turned into dragons have never stopped evolving, and have been working hard to evolve and accumulate their own energy and combat effectiveness. If any immortal comes to the shores of the 4 Seas at this moment, he will definitely be shocked by the huge luck exuded by the dragon clan, as if he has the vitality when the Chaos Divine Beast ancestral dragon was there. And just when the entire dragon clan was full of vitality, suddenly, an extremely sacred dragon power spread out in all directions with the East China Sea Dragon Palace as the center, and then shot straight into the sky. At this moment, the coast of the East China Sea. A martial arts arena outside the East China Sea Dragon Palace. The former East China Sea Dragon King Guang, who had just stopped giving instructions to the shrimp soldiers and crab generals, felt the powerful dragon power and subconsciously raised the dragon's head. His eyes were horrified as he looked at the East China Sea Dragon Palace blooming with strong dragon power in the distance. This is the aura of the 8-clawed golden dragon. I didn't expect that after the Dragon King evolved into the 7-clawed golden dragon, he would evolve again. How long did it take for this to happen? It actually evolved again. Ao Guang thought with such horror. He stopped talking immediately, transformed into a dragon shape, and headed straight for the East China Sea Dragon Palace with a body of more than dozens of feet. The coast of the South China Sea. Prime Minister Dong Hegui, who had just settled the military affairs in the South China Sea, was about to give orders to the men in front of him. Suddenly, he seemed to feel something, and looked up in horror at the East China Sea Dragon Palace in the distance. This breath, with the blessing of Bao Qing's evolution points, Prime Minister Turtle has already evolved into Xuanwu, and is particularly sensitive to various auras, especially the aura of the Dragon King. The moment the Dragon King evolved into the 8-clawed golden dragon, he sensed it and looked over subconsciously. At that moment, Prime Minister Turtle did not hesitate and simply explained the matter directly, then transformed into a huge body of dozens of feet and went straight to the East China Sea Dragon Palace. If anyone is here at this moment, they will be surprised to find that after the transformation of Prime Minister Turtle, Xuanwu has faintly grown golden dragon scales, and is actually evolving in the direction of Xuanwu Dragon God Turtle. And these are all changes that have occurred due to the influence of Dragon King Zhou Qing. Like the shores of the East China Sea, the shores of the South China Sea, the shores of the West Sea, and the shores of the North Sea, many dragon masters, like Ao Guang and Prime Minister Turtle, all rushed together at the moment when the strong dragon power spread. He raised his head, his eyes full of horror. Then, they all transformed quickly and flew towards the East China Sea Dragon Palace. Even a fool can feel that the Dragon Emperor Ao Qing, who exists like a god in their minds, has evolved into an 8-clawed golden dragon. And as the subordinates of the 8-clawed golden dragon, how could they not go to worship immediately? Ao Guang, Prime Minister Gui and others were extremely fast, especially after they transformed. After a while, they arrived at the East China Sea Dragon Palace. It doesn't matter if they don't come to the East China Sea Dragon Palace, but after seeing the shocking scene of the East China Sea Dragon Palace, their already shocked eyes became even more shocked at this moment. In their horrified eyes, they saw a body that was more than 1,000 feet long, covering the entire East China Sea Dragon Palace and hovering there quietly. The owner of the body has extremely beautiful and magnificent golden scales. Wherever those scales pass, they also reflect 7-color light. But compared to the huge golden body, the most shocking thing is the body of more than 1,000 feet, faucet. At first glance, although it looks like a unicorn head, it is more auspicious and majestic than a unicorn, especially the long dragon whiskers, each of which is as thick as a pillar. Seen from a distance, this giant dragon is so huge that it is almost unimaginable. If Ao Qing were to fly up at this moment, he would probably be as tall as Mount Tai. Congratulations to my emperor for being promoted to the 8-clawed golden dragon. Gui Chengxian hurriedly congratulated him, and Ao Guang on the side also congratulated him repeatedly. The bodies of the two of them after their transformation were not too small, measuring dozens of feet. However, even such bodies were still very small compared to the Dragon Kings, as small as ants. Congratulations to my emperor, you have been promoted again to the 8-clawed golden dragon. Congratulations to my emperor, you have been promoted again to the 8-clawed golden dragon. Congratulations to my emperor, you have been promoted again to the 8-clawed golden dragon. All the elders of the dragon clan quickly congratulated in unison, feeling extremely shocked in their hearts. How long has it been since the Dragon King evolved into a 6-clawed golden dragon? The Dragon King actually evolved again, evolving into an 8-clawed golden dragon. Everyone, please get up. In fact, this emperor is not just as simple as evolving into an 8-clawed golden dragon. Looking at the turtle prime minister and others lying on the ground, as small as ants, now Qing even had a feeling that he could hold these people in his hands by extending his dragon claw. As soon as he finished speaking, all the elders of the dragon clan were startled and then became happy. Ji Yu Chenglian hurriedly said, Wei Chen can feel that the dragon emperor is still entangled with the power of thunder and calamity. Could it be that the dragon emperor has evolved into the top existence of the 8-clawed golden dragon, and the 8-clawed Hunyuan Yu 5 elements subdue the calamity dragon? As soon as Prime Minister Gui finished speaking, the entire East China Sea Dragon Palace was in shock. The elders of the dragon clan were so horrified that they couldn't say a word and stared at Bo Qing in surprise. 8-clawed Hunyuan Yu 5 elements subduing tribulation dragon. This is the most powerful existence among the eight-clawed golden dragon. It can cause thunder tribulation, and any immortal god who cannot withstand it will be instantly wiped out. I think back in the prehistoric times, the ancestors, the eight-clawed Hunyuan Yu, five elements subduing tribulation dragon under the dragon banner, has killed and destroyed many top masters from the ancient world. It can be said that with the existence of the eight-clawed Hunyuan Yu, five elements subduing tribulation dragon, even many top masters in the mythical world dare not touch its edge, because among all the dragon clans, only the eight-clawed and above declared tribulation subduing dragon can descend. Thunder is coming. Many monks have overcome tribulations and ascended to immortality. The thunder tribulations they have overcome are often the thunder tribulations of the tribulation dragon. I didn't expect that the Dragon Emperor would evolve into the most top-notch tribulation dragon. The elders of the dragon clan were extremely excited. In just a few weeks, Dragon King Aoking had brought them too many shocks and surprises. Yes, I can clearly feel the ability that I possess to reduce calamity. Bao Qing nodded slightly. After evolving into the eight-clawed golden dragon, he clearly felt that it was not only the insights and knowledge of all things, but also a new understanding and understanding of the realm. This kind of understanding was something I had never experienced before. The power of the seven-clawed golden dragon is still remembered in the heart of Dao Qing. Now that it has become an eight-clawed golden dragon, what will its strength be like? It can be said that he is looking forward to it. By the way, Prime Minister Turtle, during the past few days of my cultivation, how has the situation been along the shores of the Four Seas? Suddenly, Ao Qing asked. The military strength of the Four Seas coast has always been what he is most concerned about. After all, this is what he relies on to unify the three realms. My Emperor, these are the various data on the shores of the Four Seas that have been compiled by Wei Chen. I would like to ask the Dragon Emperor to take a look at them. Prime Minister Gui chuckled, walked forward quickly, and handed it to Bao Qing respectfully. When Prime Minister Gui does things, Bao Qing is very at ease. Often when he is practicing, Prime Minister Turtle can handle things in an orderly manner. After receiving the statistical reports on various shores of the Four Seas compiled by Prime Minister Gui, and receiving a look of indication from Bao Qing, Prime Minister Gui began to report. On the shores of the Four Seas, after another 2 weeks of development, the number of fish spirits and fish monsters that can transform has increased by 120,000. Prior to this, before Dragon Emperor Zhou Qing took office, the number of normal fish spirits and fish monsters increased. The number is only 5,000. Among these 120,000 fish spirits and fish monsters, 10% are those with extraordinary talents. About 30% of the fish spirits and fish monsters have been taught simple training and become one of the shrimp soldiers and crab generals to protect the world. Bin has probably increased his strength by about 40,000. And about 10% of the original shrimp soldiers, crab generals, fish spirits and fish monsters have broken through their own realm and become a more powerful combat force. As soon as Prime Minister Gui said this, the elders of the East China Sea Dragon clan took a breath of cold air. Generally speaking, the ability of fish spirits and fish monsters in the East China Sea to change shape already means that they have certain fighting capabilities, and the number of such fish spirits and fish monsters has increased by as many as 120,000 in 2 weeks. What it means, I'm afraid no one knows it better than these dragon elders. You know, before Dragon Emperor Yao Qing promulgated those 3 decrees, this number was only 5,000. Weiken probably did a simple calculation. That is, in the past 2 weeks, our available military strength on the shores of the Four Seas has doubled, and not only that. Prime Minister Turtle said this, not to mention how excited he was. What's even more exciting is that in the past 2 weeks, a total of 7 fish spirits and fish monsters that turned into dragons were born on our shores. Now they have turned into a dragon with 1 claw. I believe that as long as you give them a little time, it will be possible to become a 4-clawed golden dragon or a 5-clawed golden dragon. As soon as the words fell, the elders of the dragon clan who had already taken a breath could not help but take a deep breath at this moment, their eyes full of horror and shock. In 2 weeks, as many as 7 dragon-shaped fish spirits and fish monsters were born. Although humans have always talked about the carp leaping over the dragon gate, only 1 fish spirit fish monster that can truly transform into a dragon has been born in the past tens of thousands of years. Now, 7 of them have been born in 2 weeks. Ao Guang, the former Dragon King of the East China Sea, said, somewhat lost his voice. If the Dragon Clan wants to regain its glory, top combat power is indispensable, and among the shores of the four seas, the Dragon Clan is undoubtedly the top combat power. Fish spirits and fish monsters that can transform into dragons can naturally become the shores of the four seas. Top combat power. Yes, that's right. Prime Minister Turtle nodded heavily. When he got the data, he was also shocked. But he confirmed half of it, and then he had to admit this fact. In fact, there are not only those who transform into dragons, but also those who partially transform into dragons. For example, many shrimp soldiers evolve into lobster warriors, and many turtle spirits evolve into dragon turtle spirits, all of which partially transform into dragons. However, this number is smaller than the number of fish that transform into dragons. There are so many sperm fish monsters, more than 100 of them. Listening to Prime Minister Gui's return, although Bao Qing appeared calm on the surface, he was also shocked in his heart. He knew about the carp leaping over the dragon gate, but he didn't expect that there would be a fish spirit and fish monster that could turn into a dragon and become a member of the Dragon Clan. But there is no doubt that this will be the top-level combat power from now on. Without counting this data, Bao Qing would have no idea how abnormal the situation in the entire Four Seas coast would be after clicking on the evolution points. Now that Prime Minister Turtle has statistics, he feels more and more about the evolution points he used. Points are so valuable. It's a pity that the seawater on the shores of the Four Seas can no longer evolve after it evolves into the Super Hunyuan seawater. Otherwise, Bao Qing will definitely fill up this point and turn the entire Four Seas into a paradise. Next, Prime Minister Gui reported many various situations on the shores of the Four Seas. Now Qing listened carefully and did not miss any information. Generally speaking, under his governance, the entire Four Seas coast has completely changed, and it has gradually gained the strength to compete with all the races in the three realms. However, Yao Qing knows deeply that this is not enough, far from enough. The top strength of the mythical world is still in existence that he cannot reach now. However, even so, Yao Qing also believes that it is only a matter of time to dominate the three realms. My Emperor, I wonder if you have any other orders. Suddenly, Prime Minister Turtle asked after finishing his report. After hearing Prime Minister Daogui's inquiry, Yao Qing thought for a while and said directly, the Emperor's 3 decrees have initially achieved results, and the strength of everyone on the shores of the Four Seas has improved a lot. Next, God, it's a matter of soldiers and equipment. Our shrimp soldiers and crab generals cannot use ordinary weapons, so they cannot display their great strength. Prime Minister Turtle, quickly find the magic weapon craftsman in the mythical world and ask him to forge powerful magic weapons and weapons for our shores. If you don't want to, just kidnap him. Another thing is that all resources behind the Four Seas are prohibited from being circulated to the outside world. And these resources will be used for all the dragons, shrimp soldiers and crab generals on the shores of the Four Seas, and all the Dragon Clan elders must help. Prime Minister Turtle nodded slightly at the first sentence, but when he heard the next sentence, his face was full of surprise. This is obviously the Dragon King wants to build a peerless army. Yes, Prime Minister Gui was extremely excited. And just when Bao Qing was about to speak and continue to give some instructions, a shrimp soldier suddenly ran over in a panic. Dragon Emperor, Dragon Emperor. A guy from the west who claims to be a Taoist guide, he asked us to borrow the Donghai divine needle, and said that if we refused, he would demolish our Donghai. The Taoist boy who leads the Taoist. Bao Qing frowned and thought to himself that the Dragon King of the East China Sea was really miserable. Even a little Taoist boy dared to take advantage of his status as a guide and talk nonsense on the shores of the Four Seas, and even demolish their East China Sea. If it were in the past, the Dragon King of the East China Sea would definitely treat him with care and lend him whatever he wanted, but now. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.